Top of the action, holding back nothing in support of the purple and gold. After 3 straight bowl wins, and with a Heisman candidate Kevin Falk to lead the way, Tiger fans were counting on a season to celebrate. But suddenly, Death Valley has become a visitor's playground. And Jerry DiNardo is struggling to understand 3 straight losses, 2 of them right here at home. Can his Tigers turn things around? With their best start in a decade, Jackie Sherrill and Mississippi State find themselves atop the SEC West. Led by an aggressive defense and the running of senior James Johnson, the Bulldogs are 5-1. Starting tonight, though, the competition gets tougher, and we'll find out if the Bulldogs are for real. Questions abound tonight in Baton Rouge as the 24th-ranked Bulldogs of Mississippi State take on the beleaguered LSU Tigers. Hi, everybody. Joel Myers with Todd Christensen, and welcome once again to Baton Rouge. Well, a great beginning this year. 3 straight wins for the Tigers with Jerry DiNardo. But now, Todd, 3 consecutive losses, and everybody's asking around the country, what has happened to LSU?
I don't know that anything has necessarily happened to LSU as much as the fact that it's quality competition. Lost to Georgia, the number 11th ranked team. Florida, of course, is always in the top 5, and then last week they're victimized by arguably the best college player in Tim Couch. So as you look at the record, the thing that stands out, Joel, is the fact that LSU was almost a unanimous pick to win the SEC West. Now, I'm saying that this evening is an absolute must game for them, because if they do not win this game, they're out of the bowl picture.
Plenty of questions surrounding the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Despite the 5-1 record, I guess you could call it the believability factor because of their non-conference schedule.
Well, one of the things that's interesting this evening is that if they were to win, they would be 4-0 in the SEC for the first time in their history. But as you look at their record coming into this game, they haven't exactly had what you call a difficult schedule. The combined records of these teams are 6-31. So the question begs itself, are they for real? Well, one of the members of their team that certainly is for real is their tailback, James Johnson, putting up some stellar numbers, averaging 126 yards per contest. That is leading the SEC. He reminds me a little bit of Chris Warren of the Dallas Cowboys, a guy that runs straight up, about 6'2", but can catch the ball out of the backfield. He is a stud.
It was supposed to be a dream season for the seniors in the Tigers' offensive backfield. Kevin Falk, the tailback, of course, and Herb Tyler, the quarterback. Tyler holding up his end, as we saw last Saturday night on the Deuce. 5 scores in the Kentucky game.
Absolutely tremendous. Somebody that really does not get the recognition that he deserves. He was able to put it all out there for Kentucky with his feet. As you pointed out, Joel, he scored 3 rushing touchdowns. But a lot of times what gets lost is the fact that he has a tremendous arm, and he does some good things. You can see right there. Tremendous average. He is in the top, one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the nation. He is outstanding. Easy to get lost in the shuffle of quarterbacks in the SEC.
Well, the Tigers of LSU have never lost 3 in a row under head coach Jerry DiNardo in his 4 seasons. Will they lose 4 straight? We'll find out over the next 3 hours.
With only 3 seconds left, all Dallas can possibly hope for is a Hail Mary.
Wait a minute, is that the field goal unit?
That's right, Bob. Boyd probably has a 9-iron, and in this rain, that's no gimme.
Floyd nailed it. Unbelievable.
These guys are good.
I want to put you in a
New GMC Yukon
Denali. No payments ever.
Visit any Red Roof Inn before October 31st and enter to win a new
Yukon Denali. And the price?
I'm giving it away. No payments ever.
Ever! Imagine.
Yeah.
I'll do this. A new Yukon Denali from Red Roof Inn.
Plus, you could win a year's worth of AT&T prepaid calling. Every guest gets a free AT&T prepaid call. Call us crazy. But call us today.
And with a smile. Call 1-800-THE-ROOF. Red Roof Inns. Nice people and an honest value.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by the PGA Tour. These guys are good. And by Purina One, second to none.
Back in Baton Rouge, Joel Myers along with Todd Christensen and the 3rd member of our team down on the sideline, Dean Blevins. Dean?
Joel, you know, today's college quarterbacks must be able to move, to make plays, to get out of trouble. And that's exactly why 3 weeks ago, Jackie Sherrill changed quarterbacks. Enter Mr. Madkin. Take a look at Wayne Madkin. He's a redshirt freshman, 6'4", mobile guy who can throw it as well. Started the last 3 games, and he's won them. LSU's defensive coordinator, Lou Tepper, he's not expecting Madkin to throw it. But surprise, Jackie Sherrill told me a few minutes ago the game plan is to loosen up, temper his 8-man front with a lot of play-action passes. LSU's secondary burned big time the past 3 weeks. They've given up 72% completions during that period, an average of 347 yards per game. And no Wayne Madkin is no Tim Couch throwing the football, but we'll see if he's versatile enough to surprise LSU.
Well, they're 97th in pass defense efficiency this year for Lou Tepper, as opposed to last year with a different defensive coordinator, 20th in the nation. 5 out of the last 7 games, setbacks in Death Valley for Jerry DiNardo, and that's why the expression of frustration is there just to begin the night. Doesn't smile that often to begin with on the sideline, but cause for concern with good reason. Danny Boyd kicks it away. Prentice is back deep along with Big Prather, and it's going to be Kevin Prentice from a yard into the end zone. Good wall over to the near side. He gets it past the 20, where the Bulldogs will start offensively at their own 22. Matkin, Dean was just talking about, with Johnson, a leader in the SEC in rushing, in the backfield, along with the fullback Dennis McKinley. Wide receivers, they don't see it all too often. Cooper, their breakaway threat, along with the man who just brought it back, Prentice. And the tight end is Reggie Kelly. And up front, Womack, Fair, Allen, Thomas, and Cap. And Thomas, the key, the right guard. He's the one who could be first-team All-SEC before it's all over. A senior from East Point, Georgia, at 6'4", 290. Second year as a starter. From the 22, 1st and 10. And what a beginning. Matkin calls a timeout. Well, we've got an opportunity. Let's look at it defensively. For the Tigers of LSU, McFarland leads the squad in sacks. Along with Jarvis Green, they're tied for the top spot with 6 apiece. Johnny Mitchell's got a couple of as well. Arnold Miller, along with Wesley, Dunson, and Hill. And Wesley, the leader in tackles, the inside linebacker for LSU. The middle 4. The back 4, Cummings and Woods. Woods is not going to get the start. Actually, Robert Davis, a late add, is going to get the start at that corner spot. Roman and LeBlanc, who had a good game and an interception last week at the safety position. So Robert Davis, the redshirt freshman from Shreveport, and I don't know if they really wanted Mississippi State to know that until just before kickoff, is going to get the call.
Well, it's going to be interesting simply because of the fact that the secondary, Dean makes the point that they do want to throw some. You see Jarvis Green right there, outstanding last week. Really a comer. McFarland seems to get a lot of the attention on the defensive line, but Green is the guy that they're going to have to block to give Madkin some time. Interesting that he talks about the fact they're going to attempt to pick apart the secondary. Madkin, Joel, is averaging less than 20 throws a game, so this is not necessarily his cup of tea as they start out in a 2 tight end set.
Johnson, the tailback, in the eye. Behind Dennis McKinley. Johnson, the quick toss. Weaving his way. Bolts to the 25. Past the 40. Easily for a first down to the 44. So the ultimate tonight for Mississippi State. If they can run it on first down, they'll succeed.
I think this is what they wanted to do, Joel. They go with the 2 tight end set. Tight end is going to come in motion. And so, in effect, they have 2 fullbacks. Look, 1, 2, bang, and there's the hole. And at 6'2", 230 pounds, and I was told by the head coach, Jackie Sherrill, 4.48 speed in the 40. You cannot afford the luxury of letting him have his shoulders go north and south because of that serious lean that he has at 6'2".
Leads the SEC 126 yards a game. Stays in the backfield in the eye with McKinley. Butler's the single wideout. Fires out of the field. McKinley, the fullback. Not much, but still battles for a couple across the 45 to the 47. McKinley, a senior from Weir, Mississippi. Remember the SEC's academic honor roll last year.
One of the things that Mississippi State wants to do early on, as witnessed by the 2 tight end set, is they definitely want to run the ball. You can see the selection there, very dominant in terms of rush and pass. Not indicative of contemporary football, as you see most of the teams now filling the air with footballs. But the Bulldogs have been effective on the ground, so as Bum Phillips used to say, if it ain't broke, don't change it.
2nd and 7 call it. They gave him just about 3 to the 47. And a little alley-oop. Gadget play. Wide open is Prentice. Can he find him? Off his fingertips inside the 10.
Great call. Great call. And now I got to tell you something. I'm a little bit messed up with Linomedy. I said, what's your other gadget? I said, do you have a flea flicker? And he said, oh, maybe. Well, that's exactly what happened. Take a look at the handoff. He's going to come down, fake, and then come up. Here's the lateral. He's loafing. The corner bites on. He's got plenty of time. Now, this is the inexperienced Joel of Madkin. He needs to throw a pillow. Don't try and lead him perfectly there. Go ahead and underthrow him by 2 yards. Let him make the catch and get tackled. Don't worry about getting the touchdown perfectly. And right there, it's just a little bit too long for Prentice.
Working on the late addition to the lineup, Robert Davis, the redshirt freshman. Cooper and Butler, the wide receivers, are at 44% of the third down tries, but this is 3rd and 7. Moving the pocket for Madkin. He's not close. Going in the direction of Matt Butler, the junior from right here in Baton Rouge.
Not even close on that throw, Joel, as he's rolling to his left. Again, inexperience factor. We mentioned the fact that they throw less than 20 times per game. Madkin is even less than that, Joel, closer to around somewhere between 12 and 15. You see him chatting with Lynn Amity. I think he's telling him right there what we were just talking about, which is when you got the guy that wide open, just toss it up. Don't try and be perfect.
Kevin Falk, best in the SEC, one of the best in the nation, waiting for the punt from Jeff Walker, comes in averaging 41 per try. Hangs up a high spiral. Falk calling for the fair catch. And the first possession for LSU is going to be at their own 16-yard line. Good to have that man back in the middle on the offensive line. An Outland Trophy candidate, Todd McClure. 32nd career start tonight. They missed him last week. They had to go with Thomasy at center with a patchwork offensive line. Totter and Falk, mainstays in the backfield with the fullback Tommy Banks. Kipps, Foster, and Booty. And they don't go too far beyond Foster and Booty at the wide receiver position. Williams a regular at left tackle. Thomasy, McClure, Langley, and Winey over on the right side. So McClure, the key, though, in the middle, calling the blocking assignments. And will it be a good start for Falk? Reading his way and crossing the 20, losing it, but they say he's down at the 22 for a gain of 5. Brought down by Tim Nelson. Defensively, Menifee, Sluter, Smith, Hilliard, and Smith in a different alignment up front, where you see the 5-2-4 for Mississippi State. Kenwan Smith out of Leland, Mississippi, the man in the middle. Then Simpson, really their only backer, as they go with the 2 dogs. It's almost like another outside backer, though. Badden in the secondary, along with Nelson, Daniel, Cooper, and Derricks. 2nd, 4, almost 5. Plenty of room for Falk, and he's got the first down easily. And what a drive by the offensive line. They took it out 4 or 5 yards on a near easy push up front.
One of the things that Joe Lee Dunn is concerned about is his interior, simply because of the fact that they don't have the big bodies. He doesn't have the 300 or 320-pound run stopper in the middle that he has in the past. And as a result, he's concerned over whether or not the front 5, now healthy and with most of the people back, can dominate.
Bodie doubling up over on the far side with Foster. Falk, 3rd consecutive time. Bangs it between his tackle and guard. Up to the 34, about 5. Let's go down to Mike Adamley.
All right, Joel and Todd take you to Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee. Another SEC game of note. The Volunteers in Alabama, and Peerless Price for Tennessee. One man gets a hand on him, but no one else. He goes 100 yards, tying a school record set by Pete Panuska and Willie Gault. The Volunteers now lead 28-11, guys.
Well, Mike, that's one of the many teams that Mississippi State will not see this year, Tennessee. Falk on 2nd and about 5. First time they've really throttled him. The ball squirted backwards. Well, they say he's down again at the 36 yard. Well, Falk has had real problems this year, Todd, picking up sizable yardage against Southeastern Conference opponents.
Well, again, if you look at his statistics, you say to yourself, hey, you know what, that's pretty good. He's averaging over 6 yards a carry, but against the key SEC teams, you can see right there, yet to hit the century mark. He's hoping to break that up this evening because in the past, Joel, he has had some outstanding success against Mississippi State.
He's got 4 carries so far tonight for 20 yards. Needs 4 more yards for a first down here. And firing the quick one, Foster had some big grabs last week. His first catch is a first down past the 41. Larry Foster, a junior from Harvey, Louisiana.
3-step drop. He just gets Foster on the out with both wide receivers on the side. Mississippi State a little bit late in coverage. One of the concerns that Mississippi State has, they are 2nd in the nation in pass defense. But as you can see right there, Foster 28 straight games. Last week, huge game against Kentucky, 130-plus yards and 2 touchdowns. He's somebody that they can't afford, Mississippi State can't afford just to isolate him man for man the whole game.
Goddard working the option, his own number. He's got another first down into the secondary, all the way past the 45, making it look too easy to the 41.
For whatever reason, it appears that Mississippi State is not in an attack mode. Their linebackers are 3 and 4 yards off the ball. You can take a look right here. Look at how deep the linebackers are, and as a result, Tyler at the snap of the ball, white shirts attack, they get the corner, and look at the gap that Tyler has. Look at the first time he gets touched is right there. I mean, that's the first time he gets touched, Joel, and that's some 14 yards downfield.
The gain of 17. Banks and Falk stay in the backfield. Booty, Van Foster, the single wideouts. Started back at the 16. Falk looking for a block. Gets a nice one. Kick out. And he takes it inside the 35 down to the 34. When you talk about this defense, they're 8th in the nation, Mississippi State. And yards allowed, you just mentioned, second best in pass defense. They've only given up 2 touchdown tosses this year. They've picked off 8. And in points allowed, they're 7th best in the country as well.
They have really improved over the last 2 years. But again, part of that, Joel, as we pointed out at the top of the show, certainly the level of competition.
Yes.
LSU, without a doubt, the best team they've played thus far on their slate.
2nd and 3 as they bring into play with Reggie Robinson, the true freshman from Shreveport, who made a big grab last week with a 3-point loss. Falk has to take it inside. The early penetration coming from Ashley Cooper, the dog in the secondary. He turned it in. Smith cleaned up.
That's a good call, Joel. They went from number 1 to 99. Cooper comes in. That forces the fullback to take him, and as a result, Smith is able to come from the middle. From the top of your screen, you're going to see, here he comes. Banks has to take him. There's nobody for the backside. And able to clean up the garbage is Smith, now forcing him into their first, 3rd and fairly long situation.
So Kawan Smith, the senior from Leland, Mississippi, who came to Mississippi State as a walk-on, cleaned up there, a loss of a couple of yards. Make it 3rd and 6 now. Tyler out of the gun with pressure. Booty, first down. LSU came back on it nicely. Grabs it, and he's got a first down near the 27. He's a possession guy. That was a rope from Tyler to the wide side of the field. I'm surprised Derrick's actually is pretty good in coverage, but what ends up happening is that Booty's able to get himself between the ball and Derrick's. Derrick's is right with him because he knows Booty's not one of these 4 or 5 guys. Here's Tyler sitting in the pocket, pressure in his face, but he had a lot more than that last week against Kentucky and delivering on the hook. Take a look at Booty here. Derrick's is right there. Now he has to sprint back and get in front, but he can't. Good job by Booty of getting his body between Derrick's and the football. Okay, you made your first Booty call of the night. It's 1st and 10 LSU at the 28. Counter for Falk. Big yardage again. He takes Edward Smith. Tops on the team and tackles for a couple of yards on the ride down to the 21. And what an impressive drive for LSU to start the game. One of the issues here, of course, is the play of the offensive line. We cannot understate the addition of Todd McClure coming back. Last week with him out, they had 4 different shuffles of the offensive line. And the problem with that is not that Thomas, he couldn't play a fairly effective center, but he can't make all of the calls. And the result was a lot of gaps in the line, a lot of free looks at tight end, and a lot of tackles for loss. So you cannot underrate the effectiveness of their center, Todd McClure, a potential All-American candidate, and certainly somebody that has the potential to play on Sundays. 95 yards tonight for Kevin Falk, and he overtakes Dalton Hilliard as the all-time career rushing leader here at LSU. Charles Alexander,
64 now.
Number 2. Hayes comes in. Toss out to Falk. And not much available. Slamming it with a flag coming out of the secondary. And will we get a holding call? I know I saw Edward Smith all tangled up with the tight end of LSU. Will it be a defensive holding call? They're short of the first down.
What you saw at the end of the play is you see the holding call is that Falk throws the forearm into Derrick's. One of the things about Falk that a lot of pro scouts did not like is they thought that he was strictly a scat back, the kind of guy that goes side to side, but instead throws the forearm and shows how tough he is. We get a chance to listen to it. See, that's the
offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the end of the run. We'll replay the down.
When I was a kid, Joel, those are the kind of forearms you used to see from Larry Zonk, and here's a name for it, Hewitt Dixon, big number 35 of the Oakland Raiders, used to throw that for him. You don't see that often from 5'10", 195-pound backs.
Jackie Sherrill in his 8th year at Mississippi State. 2nd on their all-time win list. So long as Jackie's been with one program. After starting at Washington State back in '76, great years, coaching Marino at Pitt, then on to Texas A&M. Called it 2nd, about 11. Falk. Not much available. Doing it right on his own with a couple of stiff arms to get it near the 25. It's Megan Rondell Mealy, in fact, the other running back, the junior from right here in Louisiana as well.
Well, it appeared that at the point of attack, Eric Daniel, the free safety, had him, but Mealy did a great job getting out and at least getting some yardage to make give him a chance to have a makeable 3rd and 7.
Opponents hitting only 36% of the 3rd down tries against this Mississippi State defense, one of the very best in the nation over the first 6 games of the year. Now, can LSU keep the drive alive on a 3rd and 7? 2 of 2 so far on this drive. It started back at their own 16. Pocket holds up the Tyler. Plenty of time to find Robinson. He's got it for a 1st down. All the way inside the 12. Tim Nelson, the junior from Atlanta, trying to keep up with him.
Interesting that Anthony Derricks is arguably their best cover corner. He is the one that leads them in interceptions, but for whatever reason, that's who they're picking on back-to-back now with the hook routes. Robinson cuts to the inside. Nice job of getting around the arm. And again, Derricks in decent position. But there has to be a clock in your head if you're a cornerback, Joel, to have the rhythm to know when the guy's going to plant his feet. Usually that's around 12 yards in 3 seconds. In this case, he's just a hair too late.
Tyler perfect, so is Falk. Closing inside the 5 is Tyler 3 or 3 on the drive. He's got it down to the 3. And very close to another 1st down to be 1st and goal. Down to the sideline this time in Team 11. Dean?
Number 48, right tackle Kevin Sluter back in the lineup as someone else is down. We'll check on that in a moment, but it was simply a scraped elbow. Had to cover it with the bandage because of blood.
He's a junior from Pensacola, Florida at 6'4", 270. Nelson down on this play. Tim Nelson, very active one. 3-year starter for Mississippi State.
Well, Joel, as you pointed out, with the exception of the safety blitz when they dropped Falk for the loss, everything has been positive yardage for LSU at this point. And again, the offensive line is really asserting itself. This is where the interior, Joe Lee Dunn, is going to have to get with his charges after this drive, however it ends up, touchdown, field goal, whatever, and say, we're going to have to do something different.
Well, question marks for Mississippi State coming in. They continue as LSU is trying to take the lead when we come back.
Most breweries in America were built in cities, but not Coors. You see, years ago, my great-grandfather had to choose. Either brew a good beer in the city or a great, refreshing beer up here. Good call.
Freude, schöne Güte, Funkentochter aus Elysium.
The all-aluminum Audi A8. Developed with Alcoa, it's the first premium luxury sedan with a 10-star safety rating. No wonder everyone's singing its praise.
We got a dog. For the kids. Okay, so I became attached.
Dad!
So my wife called it obsessive. I just wanted the perfect food for my dog. Talk to the vet, talk to the breeder, read books. Okay, 2 words. Go shopping. That's how I found Purina One brand lamb and rice formula. First ingredient, lamb. I think we found our dog food. Me? Obsessive? I don't think so. Purina One, second to none.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Coors Brewing Company and your local Coors distributor, who reminds you to be responsible. 21 means 21. And by Audi and the revolutionary all-aluminum A8. The future of the luxury car has arrived.
15th play of the drive coming up for the LSU Tigers. Losers of 3 straight for the first time under Jerry DiNardo. Welcome back to Baton Rouge. Joel Myers, Todd Christensen, Dean Blevins at Tiger Stadium. Opened in 1924. They average 80,000 plus a game. They're enjoying it so far, starting back at their own 16. They've got it. 2nd and a yard at the 3. Trips in the backfield. Bangs it. He should have a 1st down just inside the 2. It'll depend upon the spot. But this is a very time-consuming drive and an impressive one, Todd, to start the game.
It's going to end up being a little over 7 minutes, 15 plays in this particular drive, and I don't think this is what Mississippi State wanted. Joe Lee Dunn was concerned over the fact that when they lost their game against Oklahoma State earlier in the year, he said the people just didn't show up. And thus far, at least from what I can see, Joe, the aggressiveness for the Mississippi State defense just isn't there. And evidently, they didn't get the first.
So it's going to be third, less than a yard. Call it third and about a foot. Kevin Falk may find the end zone. He does. Touchdown LSU. He's been knocked for his performances against SEC opponents this year, but what a start against his Mississippi State defense for Falk.
Well, the right side of the offensive line just blew people off, and Banks, his fullback, able to get him a good lead block. He cuts back against the grain and falls in. Take a look here at the right side of your offensive line and look at the push. Take a look at the block by Banks coming underneath. That's a great job. Even though he doesn't knock the man down, Simpson makes the tackle, but it's 2 yards into the end zone. Good job by Banks in the offensive front of the Tigers.
Menifee was shaken up on the play, the junior from Opelika, Alabama.
Boyd will attempt the point after.
Well, Menifee, of course, he's a replacement himself, Joel.
Right.
And so that's certainly going to weaken the front of Mississippi State if he can't go.
That is also the first rushing touchdown this year for Kevin Falk against an SEC opponent. 40th on his career, second best in LSU history.
43 yards already rushing, Joel. I like his chances of passing Hilliard tonight, don't you?
I like his chances of passing the century mark as well. Boyd in for the extra point. Tough snap, and it's blocked. Covering it, LSU very wisely after what happened to him last week. But it was blocked, and you could see right in the middle of the line getting up there for Mississippi State, the big defensive end, Connor Stevens, after a snap that was a little bit high and bobbled by the holder.
Unbelievably problematic, but Falk still gets in the end zone. They're up by 6.
Freude, schöne Güte, Funken, Tochter aus Elysium.
The all-aluminum Audi A8. Developed with Alcoa, it's the first premium luxury sedan with a 10-star safety rating. No wonder everyone's singing its praise.
Thanks for coming, boys. First, I want you to move the hay over there. Then split and stack that firewood. And paint that barn. And when you're done, I'll give you the 6-pack of Coors beer.
Let me get this straight. The hay, the wood, and the barn, for that?
Yep. So what's the catch?
There's only one Mile High taste. Coors, the original.
BYU's offense has more balance than ever. They look to run behind tough Ronnie Jenkins.
Thursday game night at 7:30. San Diego State versus BYU at 8. Thursday on ESPN.
Connor Stevens may only be 6'4", but he played like a 7-footer that time. Really got up there. We'll have another opportunity to look at it in just a moment. That was the story, some botched conversions last week for both LSU and Kentucky that led to returns for a couple of points. Prentice, 5 yards into the end zone after the kickoff by Boyd. And down to the sideline, Dean.
You know, LSU is in dire straits sitting here at 3-3, but many believe, including Jackie Sherrill, that LSU would be 6-0 if it weren't for the pitiful execution in the extra point game. That's another one there. Stevens gets the block. Guys, we were here 1 week ago, and Kentucky got a block after a big score by LSU, took it all the way back for 2, and that was a big momentum shifter. This has really killed them, and nothing can be assumed in the kicking game.
Andy Stroop couldn't handle the snap, not all that high, but he bobbled it. That's all it took to get him out of sequence and off their rhythm. So a 6-0 lead for LSU. Mississippi State getting it for the second time. They had 1 first down in the first series. Jones, or make it James Johnson, taking it past the 23 to the 25. Give him 5 on first down as we go back to the studio. Mike?
Well, Joel and Todd in Berkeley were strange. Things have been known to happen. UCLA doing the unconventional on offense. The halfback option, Jermaine Lewis to a wide-open John DeBravik, and the Bruins have pulled ahead of Cal 28-16 in the fourth quarter. Guys?
All right, Mike, I know from experience living in Southern California, Strawberry Canyon, the home for the Cal Bears, has never been kind to UCLA. Kind of big brother, little brother thing. UC Berkeley and UCLA. On the option, Johnson trying to get to the boundary. Great pursuit down the line. Getting over there, Jamal Hill, sophomore from Mercer Island, Washington. Matriculated all the way here.
Poor job by Madkin, because what has to happen is you've got to make the outside man commit. Hill is actually able to play both the quarterback and the runner. Madkin needs to make him commit. Take a look. He pitches a little bit too soon because this is the guy right here. That's Hill. He's going to come off of the quarterback, and he's going to make the play on Johnson. Madkin needed to wait at a tenth longer to give Johnson a chance to square his shoulders and get upfield.
So a break on the sideline. Next to defensive back coming in on 3rd and 4. Madkin working out of the shotgun. 0 for 1 in the passing department so far. The redshirt freshman from Huntsville. And overshooting his man down the sideline. Not close to the intended target. He was trying to get it to Kevin Cooper.
Well, he's pointing he wants an interference call, but the issue there is that he just did not wait long enough. He saw the blitz coming, and he panicked just a little bit and threw it completely past his receiver. LSU wants to give them some different looks. Lou Tepper was criticized for being conservative last week. This time he comes with 6 right in the face of Madkin.
Foster is going to go back deep to join Kevin Falk. First punt was from 37 yards for Jeff Walker. Deep from the outside. Line drives one. Returnable. Falk will bring it back. Past the 40 to the 45. Great yardage. Gets a block. May go the distance. Only the punter can knock him out, and there's a flag back. Couple of them, in fact, against LSU. So they'll bring it back.
Couple of blocks. Joel, a couple of blocks in the back, but the issue there is that you cannot afford the luxury of having a punt that's only going to have about 2.53 seconds in the air. Gives Falk a running start to head upfield, and of course they did a good job creating the wall. Unfortunately, a couple of the blocks were in the back.
Ball would have been to the 31. Point of the infraction near the midfield stripe. Still solid field position when we come back with 4:14 left in the first quarter. 6 straight losses for Jackie Sherrill against LSU.
Jackie Sherrill isn't very happy. He thought there was holding at the line of scrimmage as well, letting his people get downfield. He was upset over the fact that his sprinters were not able to get to Falk as soon as he would have liked.
Block in the back on the offensive team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Be first down.
So LSU, still with the block in the back, is going to have it with a 6-point lead when we come back at their own 41-yard line. We're going to stay right here after all. And let's see if they just hand it off to Falk and make Mississippi State stop them with the ground game.
Well,
Tyler threw 3 times, Todd, but all 3 came on 3rd down.
And I think that they have to here in this situation. That's a very good point. Make Mississippi State change up, spread it out a little bit, take away their run support, and give Falk the ball.
Falk couldn't get out of the backfield, smothered immediately by John Hilliard, the left tackle, the junior from Houston. It's a good penetration as soon as Falk got the football.
In that situation, he sees him in his face. He cuts back, panics just a little bit. Here you can see the penetration. What happens is that they don't anticipate him being that quick. They're going to pull the guard and let him go. But in that case, he was plenty quick. And, of course, Falk, for whatever reason, cut back against the grain a little bit too early right into the face of Hilliard.
Loss of just about 3, 2nd and 13. Tyler throwing, setting up the screen off the fingertips of Falk and a break. Otherwise, he is belted again, and the closest one to him again was John Hilliard. He's all over the field.
Hilliard did a great job, because what happens here to the left of the screen is that they do the cut blocks. As soon as they cut block, when the guy is fading back, that's a situation where the defensive lineman knows that they're going to go with the screen pass. Hilliard saw that, cuts out to where Falk is, and you're right. If he'd been anticipating the chance to make a catch, he might have got a pick. Here are the cut blocks. Take a look at him. Here he is in pursuit. He sees it coming. Now right there. Oh, man, he's thinking to himself, it would have been fun to see if my 285 could have gone to the house.
Out of the shotgun. 3rd and 13, Tyler for Booty. And overthrowing his man on the sideline, well out of bounds.
Hey, but a killer catch. Great concentration on the part of number 88. Normally, you don't see him running upfield going deep, and let's give Derek's credit. We've been critical of him early on because he got beat on the hook route, but this time with the out and up, he was with him stride for stride, forcing him out of bounds, the incompletion.
Corey Gibbs in for his first punt of the contest. Junior from right here in Baton Rouge, 3rd best in the SEC. Just about a 43-yard average. Best of the season came Florida field with a 59-yarder. Prentice back outside of the 20.
Whoa.
And a bomb from Gibbs. Flag down to the play from the field judge. Prentice trying to get to the boundary. Gets a block, and it looked like a block in the back, and Prentice goes out of bounds. That Mississippi State Bulldog barely got his helmet. There's a flag on the near side, but there looked like there could have been a flag on the far side, and that's why LSU fans were upset. Didn't look like he got his helmet in front to make the block. 50-yard punt, though, for Gibbs.
Once again, long-distance kick like that, they'll give Prentice an opportunity to get up the field, so they did get some field position.
Unfortunately, though, one of the Tigers is down.
That might be Fred Booker,
Yes.
their corner, their starting corner. Now, they've been hurt a little bit in the secondary, Joel.
Personal foul, hands to the face, on the receiving team. We will have first down, 15-yard penalty.
Well, that happened with the sprinter. That happened with the sprinter, Ryan Clark, the free safety for LSU. He's the one that got the hands to his face that created the 15-yard penalty. Sherrill not very happy because he prides himself. He prides himself on his special teams.
Booker is the Tiger who is injured.
Well, they're not real deep right now in the LSU secondary. They can't afford to lose Fred Booker. Their cornerback will update you on his progress when we come back to Baton Rouge.
Do you have trouble driving in the rain? Is the glare unbearable at night? That's why STP created Vision Blade glass treatment. Vision Blade forms an invisible barrier that repels water and virtually eliminates glare. It applies in minutes, and it lasts for 6 months. This muddy water sticks to the glass on the untreated side. But with Vision Blade, the dirt and grime sheets away, and your view remains clear. And now Vision Blade is available in 2 sizes to meet all drivers' needs. See what you've been missing with Vision Blade.
Virtually everyone who applies for this Visa credit card will be approved. If you meet these minimum requirements, you will be approved for this unsecured Visa credit card. This means you're not required to pay a security deposit to obtain your Visa credit card, even if you've been turned down before and regardless of your past credit history. Now you can be approved for the credit you need with no security deposit required. This is a limited time offer. Find out if you're among the thousands who will be approved for this no-risk unsecured Visa credit card. Call our toll-free number now.
ESPN Sunday Night Football. Bills against Panthers.
Was there ever any buffalo in Buffalo?
What?
Did any actual buffalo ever roam in Buffalo?
What's your point?
In the olden times, yes.
Olden times? Who's talking about olden times?
A long time ago, the team was named after that rodeo guy, you stoop. Wild Bill Hiccup.
Oh, no. Wild Bill Hiccup.
What am I, a rodeo scholar? His name was Wild Bill.
ESPN Sunday Night Football. The Bills against the Panthers.
Sluggish beginning for Mississippi State as they get it for the 3rd time offensively. Tiger Stadium. And welcome back to Baton Rouge. Joel Myers, Todd Christensen, Dean Blevins on a magnificent evening. What a month of October to be down in the southeast. Perfect night for football. Temperature in the low 70s. McKinley and Johnson, same formation in the backfield. Going to be Johnson, short side of the field, and run down in a hurry. He only gets about 3 yards on the carry. But don't forget, tonight on ESPN, showdown for first place in the ACC is Chris Winking, Peter Warwick lead Florida State into Georgia Tech. Face Joe Hamilton of the Ramblin' Wreck. 7 o'clock Eastern only on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Don't you find it interesting the number of quarterbacks now, young quarterbacks, or in Winky's case, not so young, that have gone from baseball back to college football? LSU would kind of like that, and a fellow who's the older brother of Abram Booty, the double booty call, Josh Booty.
2nd and 7. You've got to get it in.
You beat me to it.
On the run, in and out of the hands of the wide receiver, Kevin Cooper, but it looked like a fine throw by Matkin. Looking for his first completion.
We talked about the fact that LSU had been quite conservative defensively, but you can see there the total plays, almost half have been blitzes. Last week there was a stretch where they had 36 plays in the passing game, and they only blitzed 6 times. Already they've come with 4 blitzes. That indicates that maybe Lou Tepper has taken seriously the idea that he's been a little bit passive in the past.
But as we mentioned at the top of the telecast, to face Florida, Georgia, and Kentucky, all 3 in a row, you're facing some serious quarterbacks. Great wide receivers and speed, too. Matkin's 0 for 4 looking at a 3rd and 7 from the 20. He's got Love in there on the run threat. Scrambling out, Matkin creates on his own and picks up the first down, going down outside of the 30 for a 12-yard gain. The strong safety coming up, Clarence LeBlanc.
It looked like it was a quarterback draw, but in reality, Madkin's just trying to get away. They come with 5 on the blitz, and Madkin is able to just escape. You can see the look on his face. Here come the 5 white shirts coming unblocked. He has to step up, and really great speed. Most of the time, Joe, when you see scramblers, you think of the 5'11", 6-foot, 185-pound type guys. Madkin at 6'4", 205 shows his own version of escapability.
Been a smart quarterback this year as well. In his 3 starts, he hasn't put it up in a bad position. He's got 6 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions inside of the final 2 minutes of the first quarter. 6-0 lead for LSU. And the first carry of the night for Chris Rainey, the junior from Amory, Mississippi. Good yardage on first down. Outside the 34 to the 35. Just about 5 on that crack.
Now here's what I don't understand here, Joel. Johnson had been running effectively. Why not continue to do that? I don't know why when you come up 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, 2nd and 4, hey, you know, that's the opportunity to keep pounding it in there. And what happens then, of course, is that the LSU secondary gets closer and closer, and that's when the play action is effective.
And instead of 37, it was 27. DeCenzo Miller, a true freshman from Weir, Mississippi. Miller will stay in the backfield. 1 wide receiver to each side on second. A little more than 5. Counterplay on the delay. And Miller across the 37 to the 38, setting up 3rd and short. Following the lead block of Anthony Kapp, the tackle.
Why Johnson is in the game, I don't know. It seems like it's awfully early to catch a breather as the clock counts down 55 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Good point, because I don't think you'd see Kevin Falk on the sideline on the 3rd offensive set of the day for LSU.
Well, he's back in. Crucial 3rd down situation here, 3rd and 2. I'd look for him to get the ball simply because Madkin has been so cold here, 0 for 5 in the early going.
Over the last 11 games, Johnson has topped the century mark 8 times. Leading the SEC, coming in 126 yards a game. Will he get it on 3rd and 3? The option, Madkin gets it. Across the 41, nifty move just to get 4.
It was weak side. That's a great effort on the part of Madkin because LSU certainly was not fooled. But he's able to sidestep a tackler at the line of scrimmage and inch forward just enough. Mississippi State wanted to spread people out. They flexed their tight end in addition to their 3 wide receivers, and as a result, that took away a little of the run support. Madkin able to find the gap on the weak side for a crucial 1st down.
And that is going to be the final play of the first quarter. And finally, a consistent start to a drive for the Bulldogs in their 3rd attempt of the night for Jackie Sherrill. But LSU started the game on a roll, an 84-yard drive. Finished off by the first rushing touchdown against an SEC opponent this year for Kevin Falk.
I was looking for an onion, a really big onion. A blooming onion as big as your head. One bite of that onion and bam, you were hooked. I mean, you want to have more and more, and you think about them, you dream about them, you just got to have them. And you can't stop, and you go anywhere, and those spices, oh yeah, I'm telling you, I was consumed by that onion. And that onion was consumed by me.
It's easy to get a bloomin' onion. Get to Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
How's about a nice juicy steak to go with that bloomin' onion?
Hey, why didn't I think of that? I love steak. Big, juicy.
I mean, the way I see it, you know, assistant manager...
If you like Pringles, you'll love new fat-free Pringles. Because they're made with Olean, they're half the calories, 0 fat, and so much like original Pringles. You'll think they taste just as good.
These are fat-free?
Hello, Mr. Coors.
Excuse me. We drove off and left our beer, and you've been guarding it for us? Right?
There's only 1 Mile High Taste. Coors, the original.
Finder's fee?
Freude schöne Güterfunken, Tochter aus
The all-aluminum Audi A8. Developed with Alcoa, it's the first premium luxury sedan with a 10-star safety rating. No wonder everyone's singing its praise.
kind of road can you drive on with BF Goodrich tires?
Approved.
Any road you choose. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
Well, Lou Tepper, the defensive coordinator at LSU, thought he was getting away from the heat and the fire in Champaign-Urbana. He's right back in the line of fire here in Baton Rouge, where football is a way of life. It's religion. We start the second quarter, 6-0 LSU. First down, Mississippi State. Shy of their own 42, and Matkin out of the timeout. He's changing the play at the line, the redshirt freshman. Looking for the streak down the sideline and throwing it behind Kevin Cooper as we go down to the sideline. Dean Blevins. Dean?
Joel, you know, the stunning resignation of Terry Bowden as the head coach at Auburn left these two head coaches here tonight naturally sympathetic. Jackie Sherrill told me before the game, he said it's sad that politics enters into it. He said it's bad for our profession. The ones who are hurt the most are the players. Jerry DiNardo said it's where we are in college athletics today. We have 80,000 coaches now in the stands. It's hard to believe Terry's gone, being 2 points away from winning the SEC a year ago.
I wonder how many coordinators there are in the stands. 80,000 coaches. Johnson, big yardage on 2nd and 10. Takes it to the midfield stripe, the senior from Mobile. He's only been around for 17 games, Todd. He's rushed for better than 1,800 yards. Transfer from a JUCO.
Counter tray is what this is. You see the double team on the defensive end. The guard pulls through, and that creates the gap for Johnson. Almost splits the tackle, but Smith and Roman able to hang on now as they come up 3rd and short. What I don't understand, again, Joel, as I mentioned, is the fact that why aren't they just giving Johnson the ball now? That makes him 5 carries for 39 yards here thus far. Continue to give it to him, man. 8 yards a clip. Not bad.
They're looking at 3rd and a couple. Don't forget Matkin to start the second quarter audibleized when they came up to the line to a pass play. Johnson to the flat instead. They go to the tight end. It's complete to Butler. He's got a first down. Best throw of the night for Matkin. Inside the 35 to the 34, Matt Butler, the junior, coming back to his hometown of Baton Rouge.
Interestingly enough, Lynn Amity, the offensive coordinator for Mississippi State, talked about he had a lot of praise for his wide receivers, and I thought that was pretty funny for a team that only throws the ball as a whole 19 times per game. But Butler's able to break a tackle, get downfield, get some extra yardage, create some opportunities. Lynn Amity, I thought Jackie Sherrill had a very good comment with regards to Amity. He said that this guy has forgotten more football than a lot of people know.
He was a former coordinator here at LSU many years ago. As on 1st and 10, Johnson takes it for a couple, and we go back to the studio. Mike?
Well, Joel and Todd, earlier we showed you that halfback option by UCLA. West Virginia dusting off another gimmick play. The old Statue of Liberty, Mark Bolger to Amos Zaraway, who takes it down to the 2. West Virginia scored 2 plays later and now lead Miami 31-27 in the 4th quarter. And also Tennessee appears to be on the road to staying unbeaten. They lead Alabama 35-18. Guys?
I'm almost sure that that's one of the things that Northwestern ran in 1970. I'm sure that they did.
Statue of Liberty. Johnson was single set. Taking it between the tackles. Tough yardage, but solid yardage once again. Down to the 26 for a gain of 6. The sideline team.
Guys, Cornell Menifee, who came out earlier, number 40 for Mississippi State, went into the locker room. He's got a knee sprain. They have a brace on it. He's running up and down, trying to get it warmed up, and will try to re-enter when Mississippi State goes on defense. But, Todd, you're right. They're very thin at that end position.
Let's see if Menifee can return the next time they take the field defensively. 3rd and a little more than 2, almost 3. First possession of the second quarter. Johnson slowed down, coming over to the right side. Anthony McFarland, but also in there Joe Wesley, the linebacker.
A couple of things here, Joel. Here's the issue here with the kicking game of Mississippi State. I'm surprised they're going for a field goal here because the right hash has been problematic for their kicker. Good penetration on the part of LSU coming up. Smith once again, and McFarland able to drop him. 44-yard attempt by the right hash. Before the game, I'm chatting with the kicker. He told me he's missed 11, Hazelwood said, 11 from the right hash in the last 2 years.
He's 7 of 11 on the season with a long of 52. The 44-yard attempt to try to get on the board. Blocked by LSU. Tigers stay away from it. Then it'll come back to the point where Mississippi State picked it up, and it looked like Arnold Miller, the outside backer, got up tall. 6'4", 240, the senior from New Orleans.
Now you see Jackie Sherrill with the stopwatch, but that has nothing to do with it. The issue there is the penetration on the part of LSU. And again, maybe it's not my place to second guess, but I am a broadcaster after all, and that's what I get to do. Why not go for it in this situation? Take a look in the middle. Here's the hands coming up, able to get it. What a great leap. And take a look at Jerry Denard's reaction. He's been unlucky over the last couple of weeks, but in this, he says, no, 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 this is a pretty good deal. Thanks a lot, Ellis wins.
So Arnold Miller, the defensive MVP of the Independence Bowl last year, and the win over Notre Dame for Jerry DiNardo, with a big play there, number 98, getting the block. And Booty coming back. Curled back on it. Takes it for a first down to the 40. Daisel the Batten, the one they were working on for the 19-yard gain.
Well, the kicking woes of LSU, that's been the issue with them up to this point. They're the ones that have been problematic, but certainly there. That's a big play for them in the kicking game by blocking that field goal. And again, they sit there and they say the hold, the snap, whatever, but the penetration was just too much by the front of LSU to block that kick.
First and 10 outside of the 40 after completion to Booty. And they're ready to throw again. Going down for Booty on the post. Wide open. He's got it inside the 20. First and 10 to the 18. That time, Derricks was the one that was victimized.
When you're throwing the number of hook patterns that they had early in the drive, 3 straight in the last drive, that's going to set up the longer pass. Derricks decides, you know, Booty's not a speedster. He's not a 4-4-4-5 guy. So he sits down on the hook. He wants to sit down on the shorter routes. Tyler has all day to throw in the pocket. Nobody even close. And what a great catch here by Booty as he lays out, gets his body between the ground and the football. Excellent hands on the part of number 88.
Well, Herb Tyler coming off a career best, throwing the ball against Kentucky. Starts off where he left off. It'll be Mealy cutting it back inside the 15 all the way down to the 12. And Todd, it's interesting. You don't think of Herb Tyler as a passing quarterback, but in the top 5 in passing efficiency among active quarterbacks over the last 3+ seasons. We look at the numbers inside the red zone for LSU. 15 of 18 of their scores have been into the end zone. 18 of 25 overall. Tyler last week, 15 of 26 for 268 yards, a personal best.
Well, as we talked about at the top of the show, Joel, when the quarterbacks who are prominent in the SEC, in this case Doug Johnson, you've got Tim Couch, you know, before that there was Peyton Manning. Everybody talks about the people in the East, but Herb Tyler has really been outstanding. He's somebody who statistically is always up there. It's just the fact that he doesn't put up the big numbers in terms of attempts and completions, but his percentage is always high. His effectiveness is there. He's a tremendous quarterback despite his being undersized.
After the run by Mealy, they've got it 2nd and short, 2nd and 3 at the 13. Mealy will get it again, cutting the back against the grain to the 11. Not quite a first down, just shy of the 10. Needed to go inside the 10. Wrapped up by Connor Stevens, the young man who blocked the extra point try for Jerry DiNardo's squad.
Good opportunity here for a play-action fake as Kevin Falk comes back in the game. Stevens, as you say, has been big already with a couple of tackles and that big block.
6-0 lead for LSU, looking for more, and what a boost. Those pass plays, both to Booty. Curling back on the route, and then the post pattern. Falk takes over in the eye with Mealy and Banks in front of him. It's going to be Banks pulling his way to the first down. The spin got it. He turned his body inside the 9 down to the 8. He's a load, 6 feet even, 250, a hydrant.
Remember the old line by John McKay. When they come into his office, the fullback says, "Can I touch the football? Give me a chance to make some carries." And John McKay reaches under his desk and throws him the football, so he gets a chance to touch it. Banks doesn't carry V off, and his primary function is to block, and then secondarily it is to catch. There he gets a crucial first down, converting 5 of 6 in third down conversions. Very good for LSU.
Well, stand that jumbo look, Todd. And Tyler on his own, wide open, touchdown Mealy.
Great call, Joel. Primarily when they have those 3 backs behind them, everybody is thinking run. And so they get up to meet the big fullbacks, in this case Banks and Mealy. But Mealy is able to come up and get out to the flat because they're anticipating the block here. And now I would think that even though it's early in the game, LSU might want to go for 2 here to see if they can get the 14th point.
I don't think DiNardo wants his placement unit back out there. The high fastball again, so they will go for 2 to try to get a 14-0 lead.
That could be, but one of the things you have to consider here, Joel, strategically, is that in kicking the extra point, not only does it give the kicker at least a little bit of confidence, but 13-0 as opposed to 12-0. Now a touchdown, extra point, 2 field goals puts you in the lead. You might want to think about those things this early in the game.
Well, a dominating drive for LSU, and it didn't take long. Only a couple of minutes. Interesting formation. Tyler calls his own number. He's in. 14-0 LSU. Quarterback draw all the way, and he was waiting for Banks to clear and lead the way.
It appeared that Edward Smith had him in the backfield, but he's able to break a tackle. And just like last week, Tyler proves that he can beat you with his arms and his legs. Touchdown passes, runs, he has been outstanding thus far. And let's give this man his due. I don't care if he is 5'8.5" or 5'10" or whatever he is. He gets in the end zone and he wins, and that's what a quarterback does.
Succulent roasts, savory chops, tasty tenderloins. There's always a lot to like about the great taste of pork. And during the other white sale, there's one more thing that'll leave a good taste in your mouth. The leftovers. Pork. The other white sale.
I should have listened to my mother.
When you're lost, the Acura TL can help.
Destination on the left.
Gotta be a place that's still open.
No.
Yes, there.
You're kidding. When a craving strikes, a TL can help. And when something comes between you and your destination, hospital, detour, the TL will get you there.
Keep right.
Introducing the new TL with the satellite-linked navigation system from Acura.
My cousin Al still swears he never gets enough to eat. So tonight we took him back to the Olive Garden for more of their never-ending pasta bowl. Now they added a new pasta, rigatoni and spicy arrabbiata sauce. Plus all the salad and breadsticks for $6.95. The Olive Garden. When you're here, your family.
What's the matter, clown boy? You need to make a call, but you don't have the change. Just use 1-800-COLLECT. Go ahead, make some calls. You'll save a bundle. That's great. Mine's 1-800-COLLECT. 10 cents a minute every evening.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by America's pork producers, pork, the other white meat, and by the new 1999 TL, luxury, performance, pick two.
Perfect night in Baton Rouge. You're welcome back once again. Nobody believed in Mississippi State coming in because of the records of their opponents' combined record of 6-31. There are 6 opponents so far this year. As Boyd booms it away, and Prentice will stay in the end zone. So Mississippi State getting it for the 4th time at the 20. Their best field position to start a drive tonight has been at the 22. And don't forget, next Saturday on ESPN, more college football as usual, starting 11 o'clock Eastern with College Game Day. At noon, Michigan faces Minnesota live in Minneapolis. 7:30 Eastern from Tallahassee, North Carolina on the road taking on Florida State. Then to the Deuce we go. Next Saturday, Northwestern and Michigan State in Lansing. 6 o'clock, Boston College taking on Miami, the Orange Bowl. And then I'm going to be at TCU along with Mike Golick. Wyoming and TCU at 9 o'clock Eastern. ESPN and the Deuce, your home for college football. Johnson, only one back there with Matkins calling his own number. And run down once again. What a start it's been for Charles Smith, the junior from New Orleans. Mike?
All right, Joel and Todd, Virginia, number 15 in the country, leading North Carolina State by 3. Jamie Barnett from the Wolfpack gets picked off by Tim Spruill. That led to an Antoine Womack touchdown. Virginia leads by 10 and appears to have hold off North Carolina State. And Virginia, West Virginia, I should say, stuffs Miami's Scott Covington, and it looks like they'll hold on as well against Miami. Guys?
Huge win for West Virginia at home, Mike. Sherrill's team on the ropes early. Inside of 9 minutes left in the first half, already 14-0 LSU, second and 11 after the loss. And he's coming from the outside. Chris Cummings gets to the quarterback. Make it Clarence LeBlanc.
Well, again, the step up of the blitzes is an issue, and the thing that disappoints me here, at least from the vantage point of Mississippi State offense, they're running the ball effectively. It's not a problem. You're down 2 touchdowns. There's more than half of the second quarter left. Why you feel compelled now to drop back and throw so early just doesn't make any sense, Joel.
And it looks so easy when they're running the ball to the first quarter, especially on their opening drive. LeBlanc, 18, not 19, got in there first. Got help from the outside from Jarvis Green, but the strong safety on a corner blitz all the way.
And it's amazing the IQ points that Lou Tepper seemingly has gained in 1 week.
You're tough in mixed company.
No. I'm just saying that all of a sudden he'll be a lot smarter if this continues.
3rd and 17. Johnson. They asked the impossible. He got it back to the 20. A little breathing room for the punter. But another 3 and out with a punt. The only drive that was sustained was the 3rd for Mississippi State, and they had a field goal of 44 yards blocked by Arnold Miller. So they give it right back, and it could be in great field position. Let's see if they try to keep it away, though, from Kevin Falk like Kentucky tried to do last week.
No.
Kick it to the boundary.
Nope. Jackie Sherrill has too much pride in special teams to do that. I really believe that.
Jeff Walker.
Right down the middle.
He's going to give it to Falk once again. This time from the 28. Looking for a block. Gets a couple. 35-40. There he goes. And a flag late. It'll be brought back. Point of the infraction around the 36. Wasting another nice effort. And a couple of good blocks for Kevin Falk.
I'm really impressed by his hands. You mentioned it last week when he made a punt catch with his hands. That's about the 3rd time now he's made that catch. Cuts back against the grain. Has a nice looking run, but the block in the back will move it back.
7:14 left in the opening half. Mississippi State couldn't afford to play catch-up.
Lock in the back. The receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be 1st down.
So still decent field position when we come back for DiNardo and LSU. Their own 26 with a 14-point lead.
State Farm presents Rules of the Game.
We're talking about illegal forward passes. In this play, the quarterback passes the ball when it's beyond the line of scrimmage. What is the penalty?
What if your car slips off the road in Slippery Rock? Or you need the name of a mechanic in Mechanicsville? Well, if your car is insured by State Farm, just look up the local State Farm agent. Almost anywhere you travel, whether it's a big metropolis or just a little one, a good neighbor is always nearby to help. So if your car gets stolen in Thief River Falls, or you have some trouble in Paradise, hey, don't worry about it. State Farm is there.
We're talking about illegal forward passes. In this play, the quarterback passes the ball when it's beyond the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty and loss of down from the spot of the pass.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
If you were to take away all the luxury cars on this road, priced above $30,000, without such luxuries as Bose CD audio system, leather seats, and a satellite-linked navigation system, what you'd have left would be the new 225-horsepower Acura TL and one very empty road on which to enjoy it. The new TL from Acura.
Ray Bly versus Peter Warwick. A DB versus receiver matchup doesn't get any better.
North Carolina versus Florida State at 7:30 next Saturday on ESPN.
So far this season, Herb Tyler, and we talked about it earlier, don't think about him as a great passer, but he's number 2 in the SEC in passing efficiency this year, 11th nationally just this year. But among active quarterbacks 3 or more years in college football, he's in some pretty strong company right now, Todd.
It really is. You take a look at the top 3. Those are all pro prospects, outstanding quarterbacks in good systems, and Tyler is in an elite group.
Mealy is a single set, or Rondell Mealy. Tracking it back and spinning for an extra yard to the 30 and down to the sidelines. Dean?
Well, guys, you mentioned Tyler. His offensive coordinator, Morris Watts, claims he's only 5'8.5". And let's take a look here at the touchdown play. Watts does a nice job of minimizing that lack of height and problems here. He rolls him out. In this case, he dashes him some. On deep balls, it's not a problem. But trust me, for a short guy, finding lanes is a real issue. And they do a good job with it, but it's tough. You know, you see Flutie and Randall L. and some others, though, that are short guys being pretty successful.
Good point. Mealy stays in the backfield in the eye with Tommy Banks. On second down, going to get to the boundary. Nice block. He's got it near the first down, and he got it with a mark to the 37. And it's interesting, Todd, I would think that defensive coordinators going up against a small quarterback like a Flutie or some others, which other guys, if you don't penetrate, read the quarterback, jump up for the deflection.
I think one of the things, the issue here is that everybody wants to get the guy that's 6'4" or 6'5". You know, I'm thinking to myself as I go back, Steve Young is 6'1". You've got Flutie that you mentioned, Fran Tarkin, and I was about 5'11.5". You've got some Hall of Fame quarterbacks that aren't necessarily statuesque. So I think in a lot of cases, depending upon the skill of the player, that height factor is severely overrated.
Tyler throwing on first down. The deep out, just off the fingertips. His favorite target so far tonight, Abram Booty, the sophomore from Shreveport, with a smile on his eye and knows it was there.
Just a little bit too much. Had what he wanted, the timing, takes the 5-step drop, gets himself planted, throws it just a little bit too far. Booty tries to backhand this, and you can see the adjustment just off the tips.
These two got together last year. LSU ran for well over 200 yards. A win on the road in Starkville. But they throw that time on first down after success on the ground with back-to-back runs by Mealy. And now 2nd and 10. The slant just batted away from Booty. And Robert Bean almost had a better shot at it.
Pretty good coverage there on the slant as he almost gets the pop-up. Again, the timing is a little bit of a factor. They had the cross on the out. This is the play where Foster picked up a first down earlier in the quarter. This time he opts for the slant. The timing just a little bit discombobulated, and as you pointed out, good defensive play on the part of Bean.
Ice on the knee of Al Jackson, the offensive lineman.
That's not exactly what LSU needs. They've been doing the Hollywood shuffle with their offensive line. People in different spots. Finally get McClure back. They don't need this.
Got a late flag. Procedure call.
Third down.
So they'll take the down after the incompletion. 3rd and 10 coming up from the 37. Jackson, the offensive guard.
Might be just a little more than 207. However, I think it's a good job on the part of Joe Lee Dunn to refuse this penalty. Make it 3rd and very long, but of course up to this point LSU has been very effective in 3rd down conversions.
Todd 6 of 10 so far, 96 yards. And you're talking about Todd, 5 of 6 on 3rd down. Coming back on a Booty, and he was hit early, and he should draw a flag on that one. Good call. Working on Bean, the cornerback on the near side. It's going to be a pass interference call.
Here's what the post pattern did, Joel. It gave him that extra step in terms of that hook route. Booty now has proven that he can go deep, and what that does is it forces the cornerback to have just a little bit more respect. Up to this point, as you pointed out, he has been known primarily
on the defense, spot foul, automatic first down.
As a guy who is a possession receiver. But he gets downfield. Tyler's waiting only on him, and he drills the ball in. You can see Bean right there. He hooks him before the ball gets there. Good call by the official. Booty still almost able to come up with the grab.
So another first down for LSU, this one by way of penalty. On the ground, Falk's got 11 carries for 42 yards, 5 carries for Mueller for 23, so they have been successful on the ground, got away with it on the last 3 when they put it up 3 consecutive times. And now it's going to be Mealy. Or make it Kendall. Yes, Mealy's got it. Across the 45, a flash to the 45. 6 on first down. And Dean Blevins once again. Dean?
Torn medial collateral ligament. Bad news. Al Jackson, number 71, as they wheel him off. More continuity and health problems for the offensive line of LSU.
So another loss on the offensive line. But over the last couple of weeks, they've had to plug in so many different people. They have Pierce back there and a couple of other backups. We're working last week. Banks and Mealy stay in the backfield on 2nd and 4 from the 45. But Mealy trying to find a crease, running over his blocker. The center, Todd McClure. And he's close to a first down. We'll check it out when we come back. Let's head back to the studio, though. Mike, what's the latest?
Well, Joel and Todd, my bad. I should have known it's never over till it's over. Miami got the ball back, and Scott Covington redeemed himself. A 4-yard touchdown pass to Darrell Jones. The Canes now lead the Mountaineers by 3. 42 seconds left.
So what are you, Yogi Berra now? It ain't over till it's over. Although that's a very good point with regards to those two teams. Don't forget, remember a couple of years ago in West Virginia had the game seemingly won 20 seconds left. Hey, let's just punt out of our end zone. And what happens? Miami comes through and blocks the punt to win the game. So you never know in that Big East. Strange things do happen.
Take the safety next time. They've got the first down. LSU's got 95 yards on the ground so far. 4.5 a pop thus far.
And that's what you need to do. Nothing wrong with that. And that's why that's why Tyler doesn't necessarily have to fill the air with footballs. He can pick his spots. And up to this point, that's exactly what he has done. 6 for 10, but with 96 yards.
Falk re-enters the contest in the backfield. Finds a crease. Takes it again. Barely tripped up to the 35 for 6 yards, exactly what Mealy got on the previous first down. So they're averaging 4.5 a pop. Now getting 6 on first down from Falk, who came into the game needing 95 to become the all-time leading rusher in LSU history.
I'm not one of those guys, Joel, that is possessed, forgive me for the play on words, possessed with the idea of time of possession. But one of the things that LSU has certainly done up to this point is keep Mississippi State's offense off the field. They have just not been in a situation where they've been that effective. Falk has, however, 12 carries for 48 yards.
On second and short, huge hold up the middle. And now the offensive line doing a number on a smaller defensive front for Mississippi State. A first down for Falk to the 29 as he got under the 5-6 yards. So over the 50-yard mark now. To make it exact, 13 carries for 54 yards for Kevin Falk. 41 away from history.
Well, again, you say his chances of going over the century mark are pretty good. You know, they've been getting a chance to create some holes. You can see right there, right off guard. Falk able to pick up the extra yards. His average per carry isn't as good as usual, but again, he's getting the number of carries. And again, keeping Mississippi State off the field, 3:40 left in the half and counting.
Falk finds the crease over to the left side, reversing his field, taking it all the way down to the 20. 90 that time on first down, 63 for the game. And look at him popping up like, this is too easy, let's keep doing it.
Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator, I'm always reminded of a line that Tom Flores once said to me. Now they come up 2nd and 1. He says, when I come up 2nd and 1 or 2nd and 2, he said, there's about 12 different offensive coordinators. He said, when it's 3rd and 10, I'm an orphan. You know, that man right there, Joe Lee Dunn, feels like an orphan now because everything he seems to call is not effective in this chess match coordinator versus coordinator. Morris Watts has certainly been the winner here in the first half.
The first team that Mississippi State has faced with either a 500 or a winning record. LSU at 500 this year. Foster, the motion man, tossed to short side. Falk does it again. Great yardage. On 2nd and a yard, inside the 15, slams it down to the 12-yard line. Give him another 8, almost 9 on that carry. Make it 8. So what a beginning for Kevin Falk in the ground game of the Tigers from LSU. Exactly what they did last year in Starkville.
Well, now, if I'm Morris Watts in the offense here, I'm not going to throw the ball unless I have to on 3rd down because not only you're going to take time off the clock, you're going to do what you do best. You're going to not give Mississippi State the opportunity to get the ball back, and you're going to continue to deflate this particular defense, especially the front seven, who's been completely outplayed in this half.
5th straight carry for Kevin Falk. He takes it down to the 10 for 3. That's 5 carries for 32 yards now for Kevin Falk. On those 5 consecutive tries, Barron Simpson wrapping up the running back.
Joel, here's a situation where Herb Tyler might want to look at the play clock now. Let it bleed down a little bit, take a little bit extra time, you know, set himself up for that play action if that's what they opt to do here on 2nd down. But I'd stay with what they're doing.
It's a good point because they can eat up the final 2:07
of
the half.
He's saying right there, hurry up, and then they say, no, you're good, you're good. You're good. We're under 2 minutes now. We're doing what we want to do.
And you've got the personnel we want already on the field. So Falk sets up as the only one to the backfield. Now, Mississippi State wants to stop the clock, obviously. Jumping off John Hilliard.
It looked like the left guard moved a little bit there. Drew him off. Cost LSU 5.
Will it be a false start?
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Another look back on the guilty party.
Take a look at the movement here. Rising up with the head.
Ryan Thomasy.
Here at the Thomasy was the guilty party.
Senior from Cutoff, Louisiana.
Yeah, that's the same hometown as Bobby Abel.
2nd down and a slant. Firing down to the 5. Taken in by Reggie Robinson on his 2nd grab of the night. He came up with a great basketball catch. A jump ball situation for 47 yards. The same number on his back in a huge play in the 4th quarter last week.
Really did kept them in this game, and it's interesting here. You talked about the fact that they don't substitute much, but Robinson is a guy that comes in and makes clutch catches. There's the slide, keeping it away from the defender a little bit behind, but Robinson able to reach back and make the catch.
That time working on Bean, staying away from Anthony Derrick's side. So now 3rd, a little less than 2. Final minute of the half. Tyler on the option, and he's got the 1st and goal. Well, we saw that last week with the short side of the field, and it worked for a touchdown.
And they're doing exactly what they want to do, Joel. Now you're down to 50 seconds, short side of the field. He doesn't have to pitch. Of course, the bodies are up at the top of the field of the strong side. Instead, he's able to cut down against the weak side of the field. Knife in there.
I may have been premature. I thought he was going to get the mark to the 2.
Oh, no.
But they put it between the 2 and 3.
I was with you. I thought he had the 1st down there also.
It looked like his Body was all the way down to the 2-yard line. They brought it back between the 2 and 3, so it might be 4th and inches. It looked like initially he had enough. 47 seconds, make it 46.
All right, partner, let's get ahead of the game. If it's not a first down, you go for it?
Have to. The way you've been running the ball?
Yeah, boy. You saw that first down. Who are you kidding? Mr. Bold all of a sudden.
I said it with my chest down, could you tell? So it's going to be 1st and goal. And what a difference a week makes for Jerry DiNardo's squad. Dean?
Jerry's staying right on top of his clock management because they've had some mismanagement in the past. He's getting the play called during the timeout. They were bringing the markers out, so they are on top of it tonight.
A 15-play drive. Now this is the 14th play of this drive. Tyler will keep it. He can go in. Another touchdown on the ground for Herb Tyler.
It's the second different play that they have run out of that formation. The first play, of course, is the off tackle. Second time, of course, they go to Rondell Mealy. This time the idea of the play action is to go to the tight end. But the man in coverage, in this case Bean, has to turn his back to Tyler and go with the tight end. Tyler able to walk in for another score.
Comes with 31 seconds left in the half. Boyd getting negotiated out of the hold of Andy's through. They've botched 2 over the last 2 games. Yes. Relief. And the old Bronx cheer this far in the southeast in Baton Rouge.
DiNardo's from the Bronx. Come on.
You got it. 21-0. Tigers impressively in the first half.
This simple-looking device is the key to discovering your hidden potential. It can change the look and shape of every line and curve on your body. Because it's the weight, the challenge, and the secret behind one of the most effective fitness machines in the world. Introducing the Bowflex Power Pro. Bowflex uses patented power rod resistance to give you an incredibly smooth, natural feel for over 60 different health club quality exercises. With features like a built-in aerobic rowing exercise, convertible grips, and convenient folding capabilities, it's easy to see why a Bowflex was selected by Fitness Magazine as the best home gym. It's time to get the results you want with no money down and payments as low as $33 a month. Call right now for your free video and brochure and discover the look you've always wanted with the Bowflex Power Pro.
There's nothing in hockey as exciting as seeing the big check. For charity, for a fundraiser, it's always a crowd pleaser.
NFL Countdown, Sundays at 11, Mondays at 6:30 on ESPN.
Absolutely brilliant night in Baton Rouge. Couldn't ask for better conditions. Joel Myers, Todd Christensen, Dean Blevins down the sideline as the Tigers kick it away. Danny Boyd. Over to the goal line. Kevin Prentice is going to bring it back. And like a touchback, got it back just to the 20. Come back and talk about this impressive beginning for the Tigers with 3 long drives. And we come back to Baton Rouge.
If you looked into your local carrier's phone lines, what time period would they place your company in? Why live in the past when local's future is right through here? On Net, where local, national, and global all flow over one network owned by one company. Oh, and did I mention it'll save you money? On Net from MCI WorldCom.
Every day I wake up, pour myself a cup of that rich Folgers aroma. The best part of waking up is the do-up in all I do. The mountain goat aroma always coming through. Oh, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
At BASF, we don't make the sunscreen, we make it stronger. We don't make the tennis shoes, we make them grip better. We don't make the jacket, we make it brighter. We don't make the carpet, We make it tougher. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
Kevin Falk needed 95 yards to make history tonight. All-time leading rusher in LSU history with 95. 73 so far on 16 carries. And Mike Adamle and John Makovic standing by on the deuce with the National Car Rental halftime report. That is coming up with 23 seconds left before intermission. And what a start tonight for LSU. First and 10, Mississippi State at their own 20. Field position hasn't helped him. Johnson, like he started the game with a bolt to the 29. He started the game with a 15, 16-yard run, but they got away from the run. And when I talk about great drives before we broke away by LSU, 84 yards to start the game, and the last two have covered 79 and 74 yards.
I find it interesting that everybody always talks about the fact that they say, hey, make them go the length of the field. Well, they've made them go the length of the field, and they've come through. You got to give kudos to Morris Watson, his staff. They've done everything right. And again, we can't emphasize enough. That young man's having a great game, as is Mealy. But again, the return of Todd McClure, a little bit of stability in the offensive line does wonders. I would concur with Roy Kramer, the commissioner of the SEC, when he says arguably the most crucial element to a college football team is the experience of that offensive line, getting some people that have had starts, having some continuity. Obviously, that's paid dividends for LSU tonight.
We remind you, Friday Night Fights back with you at 8 o'clock Eastern from the Grand Casino in Biloxi, Mississippi. IBF Cruiserweight title fight. Imamu Mayfield, the champion, is going to be defending his title against Arthur Williams. Also classic footage, Molly Frazier. Fights 1, 2, and 3. Second and less than a yard. One timeout left. A timeout called by Mississippi State. Matkin going deep, and it should be picked off, but batted away just the same. Getting back there, the safety, and it was actually the cornerback who was heard earlier, Fred Booker, but playing like a deep safety. And they'll have one more snap with 4 seconds remaining.
I really don't understand this, Joel. If they're going to run the ball on the first play, you know, just get the half over with. Even though LSU is going to get a chance to get the ball to begin the second half, Madkin has been less than sterling thus far. 1 for 7 for 16 yards. And again, early on, you know, certainly Lynn Omeny is going to be second-guessed in terms of his play calling instead of just saying, hey, give J.J. the ball and see what he can do. But, you know, now down 21-0, they're going to have to get out of their game plan in the second half and throw more than they want to.
Final play of the half. Will they gamble once again? Only one wide receiver to each side for Madkin. And like a punt, nobody's home. There was nobody in maroon jersey within 20 yards of that pass. Interesting way to finish the half. But some puzzling moves to begin with for Mississippi State. So LSU on their final 4 possessions. The first 30 minutes of play, 3 touchdowns, a 21-0 lead. We are back at the studio and check in once again with Mike Adamle and John Makovic. Mike?
So the LSU Tigers up by 3 touchdowns, and John Makovic, I don't think this is that big of a surprise as LSU finally living up to all their preseason billing.
Absolutely not a surprise. What's a surprise, perhaps, is the fact that LSU came into this game with the defense that was being maligned. They've held Mississippi State to 4 first downs in the first half, and the Bulldogs had not given a touchdown to 4 of the 6.
A very efficient first 30 minutes of play for the LSU Tigers, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak and happy intermission. They've got a 21-0 lead right now over the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Joel Myers along with Todd Christensen. Dean Blevins down on the sideline. Both teams have been able to run the football side, but when Mississippi State needed to convert with some third-down passes, they couldn't get it done.
Really couldn't get it done. You know, Johnson has 63 yards, which a lot of people may not realize. You know, Falk is over 70 and heading for the record. But the issue right here is you see the numbers of the respective running backs has been Madkin's inability to convert. Only 1 completion in the first half, and a lot of throws that were just all over the ballpark. Here was the flea flicker, had Prentice open for the touchdown, overthrew him a bit. Here's some of the other balls that are just completely overthrown or out of bounds. Clearly, Madkins just does not have his rhythm, something he's going to have to get in the second half if Mississippi State's going to have a chance.
Falk back deep. We're waiting for the kickoff. And what a first half. 95 needed for the record. The all-time leading rushers. He takes them on a couple of hops at the 8. Good return. All the way up past the 25 to the 30 for Kevin Falk. Down to Dean Blevins. Dean?
Well, Todd was exactly right. Talking to Jackie Sherrill a moment ago, he said Madkin's got to stay in the pocket better. He says we have pretty good protection for him, but he's scrambling too soon, and if he doesn't do a better job of composing himself, we're going to have to replace him. He said his front three people defensively did not play well at all. They've got to cover the curl route better. DiNardo, happier than I've ever seen him. He said 30 more minutes to go, but McClure sure helps out up front.
1st and 10. Tigers at their own 30. Ball battling his way into the secondary. And that should do it. Kevin Falk has just become the all-time leading rusher in LSU history, surpassing the totals of Dalton Hilliard.
Joel, that's pretty good company. As you can see, Dalton Hilliard, who had an outstanding career with the New Orleans Saints, and he also passes, of course, Charles Alexander. Charles the Great, they referred to him here. Pretty stellar career as he went to a Super Bowl with Cincinnati. Elite company for Kevin Falk, as you see the numbers right there in those two gentlemen that I just mentioned. Outstanding career. And one of the things that happens, Joel, as we've talked ad nauseum, is that somebody like Falk, when the expectations are so high, you look at those numbers and say, maybe he's not having such a great year. Hey, the kid can play.
He has been a phenomenal back, the senior. Right here in Louisiana, altering his direction that time, stopping on a dime with a flag down in the play at the end of the play, right at the tackle. He gets it down to the 38 for another 6, and this is also the first gamer who's rushed for better than 100 yards against an SEC opponent.
Jackie Sherrill can't be very happy with the fact that early on here, that front three that was not playing so well isn't exactly off to a sterling beginning.
You got face mask on the defense, 5 yards.
17 for 100 tonight. He didn't play against Mississippi State last year, but in 95 and 96, you can see he had 241 yards combined in those two games.
So you add that up, and that's probably by the end of the night, he's going to have 503 games against an opponent. Not too bad.
It's down to the 34. Where it's 1st and 10. Make it, yes, it should be 1st and 10. They haven't moved the change yet. And will they give him enough for the first down?
No, it's going to be a little bit short, so they're actually going to have 1st and 1. How many times do you see that? Sorry about the titter. I couldn't resist.
Falk stopped for little or no gain for the first time tonight, and he's going to be short as they drive him back. It'll be 30 yards still.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. How many times do you not get it on 1st and 1?
Give him a 2nd down and a yard. Alvin McKinley there along with Edward Smith. Opening minute, and Jackie Sherrill knows that they can't afford to give up a score and fall behind 28-0. It could be history in Death Valley.
I think the frustration for Jackie Sherrill is just the complete lack of intensity. You know, if you like to read body language, one of the things that stands out is that LSU seems to be aggressive, bouncing off of piles. You know, it's as if Mississippi State's in a scrimmage aren't sure about things. They seem very unsure on defense, and of course offensively, with the problems that Madkins have, they've been ineffective as well.
Trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. The LSU, they've also dropped 8 of the last 10 to the Tigers. Foster the motion man on 2nd and a yard. Ball sliding outside of his tackle. He's got the first down to the 30 as we look back on the numbers in the first 30 minutes of play.
Sometimes numbers lie, Joel, but here they don't. Another thing that stands out here is first downs, and of course the passing yards you see right there, negligible for MSU, and once they fell behind, of course, they have to fill the air with footballs, and there's a classic case that if you looked at those stats, Joel, I'd say, hey, what was the score, 21-0? Oh, yeah, it is.
63 yards to Johnson. Not much rest for the rest of the team. Falk plows his way down to the 28. Only a couple for Kevin that time. Ashley Cooper coming up to make the stop.
It goes to show, Joel, that you don't necessarily believe in omens. Remember the first play of the game was that pitch to Johnson. He went 22 yards, and you thought, hey, ooh, they're going to be rolling now. Didn't work out that way. There's a young man who's a real stud. Sherrill was telling us that he went from 8 to 4% body fat from last year. And that, you know, for a kid that's in shape as he is at 23, 24 years of age, he served in the Navy. You know, that's pretty amazing that you do that. And again, amazing that he's so effective as tall as he is, but he has the great forward lean.
Should be proud. Didn't see that many opportunities in the first half. Tyler throwing. And down to the 10-yard line is knocked away, or make it the 15 from Abram Booty. Working against Kendall Robertson.
Robertson on the coverage. You know, it's that case, Joel, of First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. Well, that's about the, what, the fourth or fifth hook route. This time, Robertson sits on it. He's there to make the play.
So for one of the few times tonight, 3rd and long for Tyler. And the Tigers, they're tops in the SEC. Above that average tonight at 47%. 6 of 7 so far this evening. Opening 3 minutes of the 3rd quarter. This drive started back at the 30. Plenty of time for Herb Tyler. Coming back and easily making the grab, Larry Foster. They get his cage again. Will we get a flag? No. They did get him up around the face mask, but pulled it away real quickly.
Foster, with a great speed, is able to push the defensive back and get him out of his back pedal. That's the key if you're going to get the hook route. Foster, of the 2 wide receivers, certainly the fastest one and the one that they have to be aware of deep downfield. Cuts up the field and actually gets away with a big-time push.
That's a way to create space.
Yeah, but it's like Raymond Chester used to teach me. He said if you get away with it, it's a good play. Foster got away with it.
They'll put him down at the 15. Couple of grabs for 20 yards for Larry Foster. Coming off a career night, 137 yards in receptions last Saturday night. Trying the right side. Good yardage again inside the 10 for Falk. He wasn't hit till they got to the 10. Falls down to the 8 and 7 on first down. They really are overpowering a smaller defensive front.
Dean Blevins mentioned at halftime that how grateful Jerry DiNardo was for the return of Todd McClure. Well, look at what he does. He comes off the ball, and he's able to get the nose guard going in the other direction. That's the key in the running game. If the nose tackle is not involved, at least taking 2 or 3 blockers, then he's not doing his job. If McClure can handle him on his own, they're going to be effective as they have been all night long.
McClure, first team All-SEC last year, calling out the blocking assignments for the offensive line. Falk with Tyler on the option. To the boundary goes Falk. Trying to get to the 5 for a first down. Knocked out of bounds to the far side. Kenzaki Jones over there along with Tim Nelson.
Pretty good play by Nelson in stringing the play out. He forced Tyler to hold it. And then when he was able to pitch, even though Nelson isn't the guy that necessarily gets Falk out of bounds, he had stretched it long enough to get his friends to come and help.
At this point of the contest, LSU has had the ball almost 10 minutes more than Mississippi State. They lead it 21-0, and they're looking at a 3rd and a yard. As Tim Nelson did get over there, the junior from Atlanta. 3-season starter for Jackie Sherrill. It's a 3rd and a yard. Falk is once again the single set. The option, short side of the field. And I think it works for the first down. Will they get the spot? Yes, inside the 4. They like running the option to the weak side of the field.
Well, one of the things that happens, obviously, the run support isn't the same because the run support is primarily to the strong side of the field, or in this case, the wide side of the field. Tyler stumbles just a little bit, but he's able to come forward just enough to get the first, even though Nelson once again makes the play.
How impressive have they been against Jackie Sherrill's defensive unit on 3rd down, though. 8 of 9 so far tonight. Nelson is one they can't afford to lose. We just saw his numbers. The junior strong safety. The 19th first down of the night for LSU compared to only 4 for Mississippi State. Down to the sidelines. Dean?
Yeah, you mentioned Nelson. It's a hand injury, it looks like, from here, from just a few yards away. And also Eric Daniel, the free safety, came out a couple of plays ago. His is less serious. He was stepped on and just trying to get his toes to come back alive, because that sounds like a minor injury, but it really hurts.
He was stepped on. That's the way Jackie Sherrill's squad's got to feel like right now. With 4 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter, they haven't been able to do a thing offensively and dominated defensively as well. It's 1st and goal between the 3 and 4 for LSU. Opening possession of the second half starts out the way the first half ended. LSU scoring on 3 of 4 possessions, 3 long drives of 84, 79, and 74 yards. 1st and goal. Ball following his blocking, untouched. Touchdown LSU. So a 70-yard drive to start the second half for the Tigers, who are making it look far too easy.
Really are, but let's give a lot of credit where credit's due. Williams, McClure, Thomasy, Langley, and Winey are the ones that are pushing people off the ball. Let's not forget Kyle Kipps, their tight end, that right side of the line. You made a good point, Joel. If Falk comes in standing up from 3 yards out, that's dominance on the part of the offensive line.
Boyd with the extra point. Falk now with 123 yards. He'll start to celebrate. He's the all-time leading rusher in LSU Tiger history.
You see, David, I feel your feelings betray a feeling I felt about your feelings. And I felt our feelings had grown beyond feeling this way. What you felt...
Let's face it, you're not always clear on a cellular phone. But now there's Sprint PCS, the only nationwide all-digital network for a new level of clarity.
I'm going to Mexico with Brad.
Sprint PCS,
It's only for 2 weeks.
the clear alternative to cellular.
Gina was a driving girl with geographic memory. Karen dumped her boyfriend Jim. Forget that slacker misery. Charlie works in cyberspace, \.com all day long. Pamela, she couldn't sing, but kept the beat and kept it strong. The all-new Mazda Protege. A change from all your high-maintenance relationships.
Prodigy Internet has fast email. So you spend less time online and more time on life. Prodigy Internet.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Sprint. With long-distance, wireless, internet, and data services, Sprint connects you to your world. And by Mazda. Mazda, get in, be moved.
This is more like it as far as Tiger fans are concerned. And welcome back to Death Valley. Tiger Stadium opened in 1924. They've won over 70% of their games at home, but coming in tonight, they've lost 5 of the last 7 in SEC play. Dominating performance by the Tigers. It's over to the far side to Prentice. Kickoff from Boyd from the 2. Prentice getting blocking. Going for the boundary, but dragged down from behind. Getting there for LSU first. It was Terrence O'Brien, the strong safety. Now will we see Wayne Matkin, or will it be Matt Wyatt, who's also started 3 times this year? It'll be Matkin.
Well, again, here's a situation where at the end of the first half, you know, he threw some long balls, big deal. They didn't let it happen. 28-0. Really, this is a good opportunity for him to go in and air some things out. I think he's got none to lose. They're not going to make a comeback here. Give him a chance to throw some throws that they talked about. Give him some experience.
10.5 minutes left in the third. They'll run Prentice in motion in the eye. James Johnson wrapped up early from the side and put down after a gain of a little over 2, close to 3 yards. And let's go back to the studio. Mike.
All right, Joel and Todd in Atlanta after spotting Georgia Tech a 7-0 lead. Florida State roars right back. Chris Winkie steps up in the pocket, scrambles, and finds Peter Warrick for a 44-yard touchdown. After that upset loss to North Carolina State, Winkie has been playing some great football, guys.
All right, Mike.
You know what, Joel? I was thinking that it's got to be either Warrick or that kid from LSU, Troy Edwards, is the Biletnikoff Award winner. You got an opinion on that? Right out, best?
You know, we'll get back to it in just a moment after Madkin tried to run an option unsuccessfully. But you're right. Warrick right there, top 2 or 3. There aren't that many. You know, it used to be where we talked about the Biletnikoff Award, there were a dozen candidates.
Right. David Boston, maybe Ohio State. But
not that many that really grab you.
I think that kid, though, that Edwards kid with the 400-yard game that he had against Nebraska on national television, that went a long ways toward it.
Tie streets, and you've got to feel for a couple of wide receivers who don't have quarterbacks that are throwing the ball all that well this year and getting it downfield to them. Out of the shotgun, 3rd and about 6. Matkin in trouble. On the run, it's intercepted. Picked off by Mark Roman. Loses it, but it's capitalized and picked up by Arnold Miller. So Mark Roman, the free safety, with the interception from bad to worse for Mississippi State.
Trying to roll out and let him use his athleticism, but he drills it right in the middle of his 8. I mean, it wasn't as if Roman made an unbelievable play.
Illegal shift on the offense. Penalty is declined. First down.
A look back on the redshirt freshman on the move.
Well, as Madkin, who looks a little bit like Chris Rock, he's not feeling funny right now, though. Look at that. I mean, it just, you know, he looked at one guy, And that's the inexperience. He just handed Roman the gift pick.
He is now 1 of 9 for only 16 yards. Intercepted for the first time tonight. 28-0. They get it back. LSU. That is a good lookalike call on Chris Rock. Play fake for Tyler, going for the bundle. It's Booty in the end zone and just barely deflected away. Coming over, Robertson helping out Bean.
And you saw at the end there when Tyler looked over the sidelines and pointed his left arm up, he should have lofted it. He tried to drill it. If he lofts it, he's got a touchdown because Booty's behind him on the post. Take a look at the trajectory of the ball. He puts it on a line. If he lofts it, there, great play at the last by Robertson to knock the ball away. But if he puts a little air underneath it, the touchdown Booty call.
2nd and 10 inside the 30. Abram Booty, the sophomore from Freeport. Inside of 9 minutes left in the third. Short drop. Tyler on the quick out, going to behind Foster, working on Eric Daniel. It'll be 3rd and 10.
This is interesting. Up 28-0. And they just had that long drive where they ran the heck out of the ball, and they start with 2 throws.
And the running backs, Falk in particular, weren't touched until they were 5-6 yards beyond the line.
Interesting point here, Joel. You know what? I'd like a draw play here for this reason. To give Boyd an opportunity to kick a field goal here, because that part of their game has really struggled. They might want to think about that on the sideline. Of course, you want to get the first down, but a good opportunity for him to kick a longer field goal with a little less pressure.
Johnny Banks, the only one to the backfield. Out of the shotgun. Snapped over the head of Herb Tyler. Now, what can he do as a freelance artist? Pretty well. He's getting blocks. He's got a man downfield wide open. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Kevin Falk. Incredible.
Joel, the man that was covering Kevin Falk, saw Tyler break out from the left. He left him all alone. And as he leaves him all alone, that means that Falk, who was his responsibility in man coverage, is wide open. I was going to say, Joel, Tyler continues to amaze me with his resilience. Joe Lee Dunn is the least happy man in this stadium this evening, as Tyler has just run roughshod over that Mississippi State defense.
Is this ever a classic setting for college football? 3rd touchdown of the night for Kevin Falk. As it's blocked on Boyd's extra point try. So they've missed 2 now. 2 have been blocked for LSU. I think they will try a field goal before the end of the night just to get that placement unit back onto the field. 8:39 left in the third. 35-0 now. As it's been all Kevin Falk and Herb Tyler, the seniors coming through for LSU.
Gina was a driving girl with geographic memory. Karen dumped her boyfriend Jim. Forget that slacker misery. Charlie works in cyberspace, \/ all day long. Pamela, she couldn't sing, but kept the beat and kept it strong. The all-new Mazda Protege. A change from all your high-maintenance relationships.
Got him. Yeah, if I could only see. I've got the perfect thing.
The Bosch Micro Edge XL has a revolutionary dual rubber wiping element.
Move to the left a little.
It's the best cleaning, longest lasting blade we've ever made. Bosch Micro Edge XL, the most advanced wiper system ever.
Beautiful. But I think we lost the headlight.
BYU's offense has more balance than ever. They look to run behind tough Ronnie Jenkins.
Thursday game night at 7:30. San Diego State versus BYU at 8. Thursday on ESPN.
Botched extra point, so it's a 34-0 lead for LSU, and that's the only minus for them tonight. They've scored on all but 1 possession. They're second in the game. So they're 5 out of 6 tonight. As Boyd kicks it away. It'll be Kevin Prentice taking it a yard into the end zone. And he can't get back to the 20s, so all areas of the game working tonight for LSU offensively, of course. Defensively pitching a shutout. Special teams covering that well to the 15-yard line. Tomorrow night on ESPN, Sunday Night Football. Buffalo and Red Hot Doug Flutie hit the road. 3 straight wins for Flutie. The Magician tackles Carolina. The Bills and the Panthers. Monday night on ABC Sports. Monday Night Football live at 8 o'clock Eastern. What a showdown. Pittsburgh and Kansas City. Those two teams have had 4 times since '92. They have split those 4 games. So it's the Steelers and the Chiefs. ESPN and ABC. Your exclusive networks for primetime NFL football. Caught at the 16-yard line. And James Johnson struggling his way to the 19 for about 3. Dean?
Madkin back in, of course, and Lynn Amity is his offensive coordinator. He's had a couple of stints here at LSU. He's on the sidelines here now as the offensive coordinator for Jackie Sherrill. Now, he came down after the 3rd game when they made the quarterback switch so that he could be more effective eye-to-eye with his quarterback. They've been working together all night tonight with no success. You kind of wonder, Todd, if maybe he'd like to go back up to the press box on a night like this.
Well, it's kind of funny that he's only completed 1 pass, but they haven't made a change at quarterback. Real patience from Jackie Sherrill. Matkin with Roman in pursuit. Hitting the tight end who's buried. They're going to call it a catch. Picking it up. Red Booker, hard to believe. It looked like he took the ball away before it was a reception for the fullback, Dennis McKinley. And they're going to give the ball to LSU. LeBlanc with the shot on McKinley. Good to see him back up that quickly. But 1st and 10 at the Mississippi State 11-yard line. Getting ugly now if you're a Bulldog fan. Banks in front of Mealy in the eye. Toss for Mealy, short side. Defended well, and he's knocked out with a loss of a yard at the 12. Red Booker was down. He looked like he was out in the 2nd quarter, but alive and well in the 3rd. .7:29 left in the 3rd. We talked about the question marks surrounding Mississippi State, especially because they had not faced an opponent with a winning record. Combined records of 6-31. Best record they've seen so far before this matchup with 500 LSU was 2-4 Oklahoma State, and they lost that game to Oklahoma State. Tyler on the play fake. Going for the corner route. Touchdown, Abram Booty. With his 3rd touchdown pass. He ran for 3 scores last week. Now he's thrown for 3 scores this week, and Boyd gets one through. And check that, it was Christian Chauvin who kicked it through, the backup place kicker for Danny Boyd. As Boyd has had a couple of blocked extra point tries tonight. Herb Tyler's also run one in tonight.
Offside on the defense. Penalty is declined. Points are good.
So they capitalize on another mistake by Mississippi State. After the fumble recovery by Booker, Abram Moody with his first touchdown reception of the night. LSU by 41.
To accomplish everything you need to do on the ground, often you have to spend time in the sky. Fortunately, what you do both places can help you get where you really want to go. Just get the Delta Sky Miles credit card from American Express, giving you American Express service on the ground and Delta Airlines service in the sky.
You can apply now, right over the phone. Just call 1-800-SKY-MILE.
With the Delta Sky Miles credit card, every dollar you spend gets you a Delta Sky Mile. And when you buy your Delta ticket with it, you gain even faster. You get 1.5 Sky Miles for every $1 you spend. Plus, when you apply now, you'll receive 5,000 bonus Sky Miles automatically with the card. And of course, you'll get American Express service worldwide.
Call 1-800-SKY-MILE and apply now. We can take all the information in just a few minutes.
Call today. The sooner you get the Delta Sky Miles credit card, the sooner you can get someplace you really want to go.
So get ready for ESPN Sunday Night Football.
Bruce Smith leads the Bills into battle with the Carolina Panthers.
ESPN Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins at 8:15.
I gotta watch that game.
Tradition is reborn on ESPN2. Friday Night Fights, showcasing today's best talent along with classic bouts from the past. This week, Mayfield takes on Williams and the classic Ollie Frazier trilogy. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 8 on ESPN2.
Plenty of distractions down here in the Bayou as we welcome you back once again. 7:23 left in the third. Joel Myers, Todd Christensen, Dean Blevins, and that picture tells the whole story. Jackie Sherrill in his 8th year at Mississippi State, coming in with a 5-1 squad. His Prentice will stay in the end zone for another touchback. But it was last year, Jackie's squad was 7-2, headed into Fayetteville. It was late in the season, obviously in November. They were hoping to win the Western Division of the SEC. It vanished, though, in Fayetteville. Sterner, 15 of 27. Touchdown to Anthony Lucas. Another touchdown run for Rod Stinson, and a 17-7 loss. They lost the next week as well to dreaded rival Ole Miss to finish at 7-4. Matkin is going to stay in at quarterback. Despite the fact he completed only one pass, that toss, James Johnson flashes across the 25. He gets about 8 near the 28. At Kentucky next week, it's going to be interesting for this group, working against Tim Couch. At home to Alabama, the remaining games in Arkansas and Mississippi. So 6-31 up to this point, their opponents, and the rest of the way 20-8 the combined record. Second, a little more than a couple. Johnson diving for the first down. And to the studio we go. Mike?
All right, Joel and Todd in Big 12 play. Kansas 0-3 against ranked opponents, 0-5 against Big 12 foes. Gets a nice run here from David Winbush, 38 yards in all, and they have tied number 17 Colorado 7-7. That game on ESPN and over ESPN, Florida State and Georgia Tech. Still tied at 7, 6:36 remaining in the second quarter. Guys?
All right, I thought, Mike, that game, Georgia Tech and Florida State, I thought that would be a good 60, 65 points combined between the two. A slow start, though, late in the second quarter. Counter and a dead ball foul coming up against the offense. Johnson on the ground, 14 carries for 81 yards, and you would have to feel that coming into the game, if Mississippi State would have stayed with Johnson on the ground, could be a different story, Todd.
I believe you're right, Joel.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Although I'm reminded when you say that of Sammy Baugh in the 1940 title game. I believe it was Bears and Redskins. When after the game they said, would it have changed if you'd have completed some passes early on when it was 73-0? He says, yeah, that would have made it 73-6.
Well, Mississippi State will come right back to this graphic because who they're not going to play this year. It looked like things were all set up in the SEC last. And good night, Irene. Coming through LSU with a big stop by Jarvis Green to the right end. He just shot through untouched. Well, a different story this week with a non-passing attack. But the games, or the teams rather, that LSU doesn't have to face, well, South Carolina and Vandy, they'd like to see those two teams. I think it's safe to say. They don't see Tennessee, though. But Mississippi State doesn't face Tennessee, Florida, and Georgia this year. How did they pull it off?
The stars were in alignment for them, Joel.
They read their tarot cards properly. James Johnson crosses the 25 to the 28. Approaching the 5-minute mark left in the third quarter. Disbelief over on that sideline for the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Thought they had a better opportunity to break that 6-game losing streak. The LSU with a 5-1 record, so much momentum. You don't have to just face the Tigers, though, Todd. 80,000 plus again at the ballpark tonight. This is one of the great atmospheres and one of the great home field advantages in all of college football. 3rd and 14 from the 28. Will they get it off in time? No. Everything working well right now.
Dead ball. Delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
It's a 3rd and 19. It's the kind of night where even the guys on the downside don't want to stop the clock. Matkins has only completed one pass. Johnson's been featured this time offensively on their 3rd series after turning the ball over twice in their own territory in their first 2 possessions of the second half. Johnson on the delay, and again, Jarvis Green just waiting for the running back. The redshirt, he's only a redshirt freshman, let's not forget. Tied for the team lead in sacks with 6 out of Donaldsonville, Louisiana.
At this point, he's able to focus on the runner. He penetrates through, sees the draw play, wraps up Johnson for a loss.
Jeff Walker, not Jerry Jeff, but just Jeff Walker, punts it away. Falk back at his 32. Flags blocking the back. They saw it early on the return for Falk. They'll bring it back at the point of the infraction from the 40 where the flag is after the 48-yard punt and 13-yard return. Not a bad sequence for Jarvis Green with a couple of tackles for losses. Taking care of James Johnson both times.
Bulldog, shake it up.
Block in the back on the receiving team. That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the 5. It'll be first down.
Down for Mississippi State, Jamal Dinkins, the linebacker.
Cut into the outside. Makes the play, and there's the block in the back.
So LSU has it back. 1st and 10 at their own 30 when we return.
Yeah, that's fine, honey. Yes, honey.
Daddy, look!
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's do another one.
McDonald's? Great idea. Let's go.
Somebody say McDonald's?
Extremes for Lou Tepper, the defensive coordinator for LSU. Tim Couch putting it up on an average 50 passes a game. Didn't have to worry about the pass much this week.
I think he was inspired by the Defense for Food graphic that was revealed earlier, and as a result, he's fired up. They're pitching a shutout. Tepper, as I say, the IQ points go up if the points by the other team go down.
Rondell Mealy getting an opportunity. Takes it to the 33 for a gain of about 3. There was another sign up that we saw earlier in the contest. Mom and Dad, please send defense. Wasn't money. It wasn't food. Mealy.
Well, I haven't met Tepper's parents, but, you know, I thought that was really uncalled for. But anyway.
It'll be 2nd at about 8.
Rondell Mealy, kind of the Rodney Dangerfield of tailbacks, getting no respect because he's had to sit behind Falk. He's a pretty good runner in his own right, as you can see there.
All the way to the 38. Short of the first down by 3.
Don't forget, last year in their bowl game, Falk had a bit of an injury, and Mealy went in and had 200-plus yards. I mean, it's not as if, you know, he's your normal reserve. In fact, there are quite a few prominent tailbacks who were not recruited by LSU as a result of the people that they had.
123 for Kevin Falk tonight. With that 123, he becomes the all-time leading rusher in LSU history, surpassing the totals of Dalton Hilliard. Tyler lunging for the first down, refuses to quit, and he's got it all the way down to 49. What balance by Herb Tyler on the run of 14 yards.
This is about the point here where I think that Jerry DiNardo has to think about putting in either Craig Nall or Rohan Davey. Up 41 points, time running out in the third quarter. A little less stress on his face, as you can tell, but you certainly don't want to have your stud quarterback get hurt when you're up by 41 points.
And when you're up 41-0, and he told us earlier this week he's got a real good relationship with Jackie Sherrill, and he wants to keep it that way.
I don't think anymore. I think thanks to Steve Spurrier, that's not an issue anymore. I just don't think the protocol's the same in terms of running it out.
Mealy slamming it down to the 45. Did he get that far? No. Only to the 46 for a gain of about 3.
This is one of the things that I think is cool about college football, those single digits. I remember an old teammate of mine, Burgess Owens, saying that he was upset because at Miami he got to wear number 2. But then, of course, the NFL makes you wear that specific number for your position. I like that 3, 7, you know, some of the numbers are a little off the beaten path.
One will work, won't it?
Worked for Warren Moon and Nolan Smith.
Foster the motion man on 2nd and 7. Try to cut it off, but Mealy follows his blocking well and spins down to the 42.
Again, a great job by the offensive line getting pieces of people just enough to create a hole for Mealy. They come with a strong safety blitz, and Mealy able to get some yardage when it probably should have been negative yardage. The offensive line this evening has been outstanding. It's like night and day from last week when Kentucky, a very undersized group, was able to get pressure, hold Falk to about 60-some yards, and about 5 sacks. This time, it hasn't been the case. If I'm not mistaken, Joel Tyler has yet to be sacked.
No, he has not been hit behind the line tonight. If he has been, it's been after he's tossed the ball, and they run a couple of options. But he has not been sacked. LSU does have a couple of sacks. LSU has also run for better than 200 yards. Throwing to the wide side of the field. Did Booty get it? No, it was a trap. Kendall Robertson was the closest one over there on coverage for Mississippi State. Barely got it over the fingertips of another defensive back, though. And a 4th down coming up. First punt of the second half and only the second of the game for LSU.
Now, Whitten, last year, remember, Chad Kessler averaged over 50 yards a punt, and the reason for that is he never had to pooch punt. He was their long-distance punt, and then they had a short guy. I think Whitten's got to do both, doesn't he, Joel?
And we will find out. High one for Prentice. And a nice fair catch behind him, though. The Tigers of LSU, Brandon Dale and McCorkle.
Nice catch. So many times the special teams, you see that they're not paying attention. But the very problems that LSU has been talking about in terms of their kicking game have been rectified this evening. But both the defense and offense running on all cylinders for the Tigers, up 41-0.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles.
Well, a quick return with 23 seconds left in the half.
That's because we're resilient, Joel. We're on top of things. And Johnson, who was averaging 6 yards a carry in the first half, now is beginning to get shuffled down a little bit. Of course, LSU knows that the ineffectiveness of the quarterback leads them to Keon Johnson, because being a stat-conscious guy, Joel, I know that there are games where I'd say, hey, I know we're behind, but maybe I can get a couple to pad my stats. Johnson coming into this game, of course, averaging 126 yards thus far, 17 carries for 76 here at the end of the third quarter.
A third quarter where LSU capitalized on every Bulldog mistake.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
Every Sunday afternoon during football season, I read the opposing team's defenses, but the rest of the time, I read everything I can for news, information, and entertainment. I'm John Elway, encouraging you to read. Read books, read magazines, and certainly read a newspaper every day. Reading will make you more interesting and better informed. Then you'll be ready to be a real star in the most important game of all, the game of life.
Read a newspaper every day because it all starts with newspapers.
Gina was a driving girl with geographic memory. Karen dumped her boyfriend Jim, forget that slacker misery. Charlie works in cyberspace, \/ all day long. Pamela, she couldn't sing, but kept the beat and kept it strong.
The all-new Mazda Protege. A change from all your high-maintenance relationships.
The lightweight aluminum in your car radiator is the only thing between you and a breakdown. Put in Prestone. It bonds with aluminum to give you a powerful zone of protection against corrosion. Protect your car in the Prestone zone.
My cousin Al still swears he never gets enough to eat. So tonight we took him back to the Olive Garden for more of their never-ending pasta bowl. It's any special pasta you like with all the free refills you want, plus all the salad and breadsticks for $6.95. The Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
I mean, the way I see it, you know, assistant manager, that's
If you like Pringles, you'll love new fat-free Pringles. Because they're made with Olean. They're half the calories, 0 fat, and so much like original Pringles. You'll think they taste just as good.
These are fat-free?
Mississippi State must be feeling like East Tennessee State, who they pounded last week 53-6. Down 41-0. Joel Mice, Todd Christensen, Dean Blevins down the sideline, and Mississippi State outgained 3-1 in total yards offensively to start the fourth quarter of play. From the 7. Under the pop of the backfield, no, a play fake, and going for the bundle. The catch for Kevin Prentice. He didn't push off, though. Mark Roman was on the coverage.
Great adjustment on the part of Prentice. You know, he's got Booker with him stride for stride, and what ends up happening is that Prentice looks back, Booker does not. He's with him, and he looks in the backfield. He's got plenty of gap. Now he turns and runs. Now right there, Booker should look. Instead, it's just a little bit too late. Slight push, ever so slight. The official on top of it, but he doesn't call it. Prentice, their leading receiver coming into this game, their punt and kick returner. Nice game.
First completion of the second half for Mississippi State. Only their second for the game. 44 yards to Prentice out of a hole from their own 7. The 49. And the run for Johnson takes it up to the 47, down to the 47, close to the 46. Back to the studio on Mike Adamley. Mike.
All right, Joel and Todd. In Austin, no attaboys for Baylor punter Kyle Atterbury. Can't handle the punt snap. The ball rolls out of the end zone. Safety for Texas. They trail by 2. Ricky Williams, incidentally, taken to the sidelines with a bruised knee. We'll keep you posted on his condition.
This is interesting, Mike. I saw the 7-5 score. What inning is that in? I couldn't tell.
Texas looking for a 3-run homer right.
Heads up, though, by that punter, though. Making it 2 instead of 6, huh?
Said it. Mackton on the play fake. Tries to get away from Jarvis Green. Dump off, but a good one at that to the tight end, Terrence McCaskey. Near the 40, short of the first down by a yard, and a good ad-lib by Mackton with Green right in his face.
It really was, and McCaskey makes a nice catch getting it forward. Once again, the mobility of Madkin an issue. The issue, though, for him, I don't think so much is his ability to get away as much as it is some accuracy. That's been problematic this evening.
It's just me and McCaskey heard at the end of the play on that catch for the junior from Norcross, Georgia. Have teams gotten away from throwing to the tight end, or is it just me? Because it seems apparent in college football, the tight end is not getting that many opportunities to touch the ball throughout a game. We'll get a great tight end's opinion when we come back with Todd Christensen.
growing up in the outback. Golf legend Nigel Bridges showed little aptitude for sports. He wasn't very good at rugby or cricket, or so it seemed, at golf. But he tried and he tried and he tried and he tried and he tried. Until he got it right. You'll find the same dedication and commitment to perfection at Outback Steakhouse, where a great steak dinner is always just a short drive away. Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right.
Good shot!
Every day I wake up, pour myself a cup of that rich Folgers aroma. The best part of waking up, it's the do-up in all I do. The mountain-grown aroma, always coming through. Oh, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by the all-new BMW 3 Series. Everything your car does well, it does brilliantly. And by Nike.
Back in Baton Rouge, the Bulldogs ready to go home. 13:34 remaining. They're down by 41. The only thing in doubt now whether or not LSU can pitch a shutout. Johnson, Williamson in the backfield of the eye. On 3rd and a yard from the 40. Johnson, he won't get out of the backfield. Sliding over to make the play. It was...
Charles Smith is a guy who has been in
backer.
pursuit all night long. He has made some big plays, but, you know, with the score what it is, this is 4-down territory. Charles Smith is going to penetrate from the backside. Watch the right of your screen. Number 35 runs it down from the back. Great speed on the part of Smith to run down Johnson.
He's a junior from New Orleans. And now on 4th and about 4. Timeout has been called by Mississippi State. They will definitely go for it. So Jackie Sherrill stops the clock. We'll find out what they're going to do with Matkin on 4th and 4 when we come back.
Finally, a polished brass finish that holds up under siege. New brilliance for the kitchen. From Delta, it's guaranteed to shine for life. Delta, the faucet.
At Plank Road, we don't do everything well. Fortunately, beer is something we do well. Ice House, thanks and enjoy.
Time will definitely be on your side with a furnace from Armstrong Air. Armstrong Air, strength you can rely on.
Pine Streets and the Wolverines march into Minnesota to take on the Golden Gophers. College game day at 11, then Michigan versus Minnesota at noon next Saturday on ESPN.
It is always one of our favorite stops on the tour, and welcome back to Baton Rouge, LSU. Enjoying the home cooking tonight after losing 3 in a row. The last one coming right here at Tiger Stadium last Saturday night in the Deuce by a field goal to Kentucky. 4th and 4. Matkin in trouble. Doing a good job, but there's nobody at home. Yes, the tight end, Reggie Kelly. Big yardage for a first down, and what about the escapability, though, of Wayne Matkin?
Well, they had a great line last week in the Kentucky game. Lou Tepper made reference to what he called Waldo catches, where guys come out of nowhere. In that case, the blocker is at the line of scrimmage. The tight end isn't a part of it. Kelly then comes off the block and provides Matkin with the catch. You can see the ball was tipped. Kelly, good concentration, able to get the pillow and come downfield to get a big first down for the Bulldogs.
They convert on 4th and 4. Matkin 5 of 13. 4 of the 5 coming in his drive. Started back at the 7-yard line. James Johnson met early and dropped to the 19, a gain of only a yard.
You know,
get to that thought side. I also want to get back to the tight ends. Dean?
Speaking of tight ends, Terrence McCaskey, a tight end, 86, went out. I've seen the first smile on the MSU sideline since the pregame warm-up. The doctor was looking at him and pointed to his head. He's been knocked a little silly. I think he was talking a little noise over there.
Well, we were talking about tight ends before we left after the completion of McCaskey. Good news that he is okay now. But teams getting away from throwing to the tight end, just me?
What position do you play?
I'm
Is it just me? What is that?
Is it just
Are you
me?
leading into that, or do you want to ask me a question?
Well,
is it just me? No,
well,
it's others.
It's the lead for you.
Oh.
But I wouldn't want to set you up.
I'm sorry. It wasn't obvious enough. Okay. Well, there's a couple of reasons for that, and one is that the tight ends that you have are diametrically opposed. Their skills, running upfield or blocking. A lot of cases, you don't have somebody that can do both.
2nd and 9. Matkin dropped right at the line. Combination that time. Coming up for the Tigers, Johnny Mitchell along with Kareem Mitchell.
Good coverage on the part of LSU downfield that forces Madkin to step up and take the loss. This has not been the strong suit of LSU. We mentioned coming into this game, 97th in the NCAA in pass defense. That time they had everybody covered, forced Madkin out of the pocket. Now they come up 3rd and long.
4 minutes gone by in the 4th. 371 total net yards offensively for LSU, 200 for Mississippi State. This is by far the best drive of the night. And Matkin running out of the racing room, chasing him down with a flag down on the play. Arnold Miller getting there first.
One of the difficulties with a running team is they usually don't have that many people. There's a holding that goes against them. I think that LSU is going to decline this and put up 4th down, but when you only have 2 people in the pattern, that doesn't put as much pressure on the secondary. You can keep your safeties deep, and you could double team some people. Mississippi State with only 2 people in the pattern. Madkin just could not find an open man.
The real chase came from Bubba Alexander.
Holding on the offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Let me make this point coming back, Joel, that I wanted to make with regards before I goofed up your setup, because you're absolutely right. It is an issue in college football. I think that what is happening is that, as I believe it was Raymond Berry once pointed out, the best tight ends in college football are now power forwards. Guys now that you see at tight end are 6'5", 260, 6'6", 250, third tackles. You rarely see the Shannon Sharp types anymore that can go downfield, make the catches, or the Ben Coates. It's just a unique animal.
4th and 14. And Mississippi State will call the timeout. They've used 2 now. 10:20 left. We definitely need another timeout here in Baton Rouge. 41-0. Tigers all over the Bulldogs.
Oh, no. Foot pain got you down again? Introducing Therasols Plus, the revolutionary shoe insoles that combine magnetic pressure point therapy with the arthritic healing power of copper. The secret of Therasols Plus are these specially designed magnetic discs, pressure points, and copper elements. When you stand or walk, the pressure points stimulate the nerve endings in your feet that correlate to all parts of your body. At the same time, the magnetic discs help support good blood circulation, while the copper elements help relieve pain caused by tendonitis and arthritis.
Magnetic pressure point therapy has been used in the Far East for several centuries. Now you can experience the same amazing benefits with Therasol.
Therasols Plus are only $19.95. But wait, call within the next 10 minutes. We'll double your order absolutely free. That's right, you get 2 pairs of Therasols Plus for just $19.95. Call now.
To order your Therasols Plus and receive a second pair free, call 1-800-941-9200 or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4.95 shipping to this address. Specify men's or women's insoles.
Just about 5 minutes gone by, and another 4th down. They converted on 4th and 4, but this is 4th and 14 for Mississippi State. Drive started back at their own 7-yard line. First drive they had all night long. Matkins in trouble. Doing a good job to break away again, and it batted away in the secondary. Making the play, the cornerback on that side was Robert Davis. He got the start due to the absence of Damian Woods, and they take over on downs.
Once again, LSU goes with the blitz and forces him out. Good job of coming back to the ball, both by the receiver and the defender. But, of course, with 4th down, you just want the ball to hit the ground. As you mentioned, good coverage on the part of Davis.
So LSU with the ball back, and Craig Nall has taken over, as Todd mentioned. How long you want to go with Herb Tyler? You've got too much left in the season, as Rondell Neely is now in there regularly instead of Kevin Falk. And the junior takes it straight ahead for a gain of a little over 5 past the 29. So Craig Nall, he was in there a couple of times earlier this year. Redshirt freshman out of Alexandria, Virginia. Good size, 6'3", 225. He'll be handing off, though, right and left.
This is, in effect, a little bit of an audition. What I mean by that is that Herb Tyler obviously is going to be gone after the season. The big decision is whether or not it's going to be Nall or Davies.
Big hole over to the right side for the first down for 36. That'll stop the clock momentarily to move the chains.
Now, Herb Tyler's numbers bespeak the effort that he has put forth. Sometimes the rushing is deceptive because of the sacks, but in this case, he was never sacked. So that's why he has that great average per carry, nearly 8 per carry. And, of course, passing very effective, 10 for 18, 162 yards, no INTs, 3 scores.
He had a part in all 5 of their touchdowns last Saturday night on the Deuce. 4 tonight. 4 out of their 7. And spinning is Neely with a nice tip on at the end. And then a hit with maybe a flag at the end of the play, but they keep the handkerchief in their pocket. And unfortunately, Anthony Derricks over on the sideline, who's forcing him out. Will he be able to get back up? You can see the pain on his face.
Looked to me like it was a little bit out of bounds, but evidently they were focused on the ball. At the end of the hit, it appeared that Kanzaki Jones might have been a little bit late. Herb Tyler's the man tonight, though. Remember the 3 in the eye, play action. He gets Neely the ball in for the touchdown. Same formation, he bootlegs it in. And of course, he puts the ball a little bit behind, but Booty makes a nice adjustment on the corner route for the touchdown. Herb Tyler, he's the Mac Daddy this evening.
Neely on first down. Just keeps the clock moving. That's all they want to do now. Get to the locker room with no injuries on a very successful night. Pitching a shutout over an SEC West opponent. And LSU, of course, the favorite coming in this year in the SEC West to win the title. Neely now has 15 carries for 73 yards, but on the wrong side of the ledger in conference play. Over 500 overall coming in. Well, there's a busted play for Nall. He's going to be dropped for a loss. Running back went one way. So we head down to the sidelines. Dean?
You know, guys, in our business, we meet with virtually all head coaches across the country, and none has ever been more intense to me than Jerry DiNardo. You know, when we were over there the other day, he was chewing on his hand, and I asked him a question. I said, do you have life outside of football? And he thought about it for a second. He said, no, none. And I asked him after his game this past weekend if he got much sleep. And he said, no, don't sleep much. I average 4 to 4.5 hours of sleep a night. So as intense as he is, though, he has a soft spot in his heart. He disallows any of his coaches from yelling at players on the sideline on game day.
On 2nd and 13, Robinson breaking the tackle. Reggie Robertson. Robinson with a fine run after the catch. He's got a first down. Dean?
Yeah, Joel, just in finishing that thought, I thought it was good that he doesn't let his coaches yell at players coming off, because he says equally that's a coach's way of protecting himself. He says, I'll manage the game, let the coaches coach, and let the players play and enjoy it.
He's a very genuine individual, Jerry DiNardo.
I agree. I think that there's somebody, one of the things that often happens in the interviews of the coaches is that very rarely do we have coaches that are candid. There always seems to be something that they care to obfuscate and not give us. In this case, he was very open in stating what was on his mind. Very enjoyable, very pleasurable interview.
Rondell Neely on the carry for another 6-7 yards, getting 6 on the pop. Down to the 23 from the 29.
I think the graphic that they showed is also emblematic of the success that he's had. 3 straight bowl victories. I think it's a lot of times it's like the NFL mindset where they say they want to get to the Super Bowl. Well, the guy gets to bowl games and he wins. That says a lot for the fact that at the end of the season he has his team playing as well as they are.
Beats a team that obviously has got great ties with Notre Dame. He was All-American guard for the Fighting Irish and beat Notre Dame in the last one in the Independence Bowl in Shreveport. Null trying to find his wide receiver as he went over to the far side, but Adesela Batten is right there on the hip.
Going to get his opportunity at Notre Dame on the 21st of next month. Tough teams coming up there, especially there at the end of the season. Ranked teams in Notre Dame and Arkansas. You know, you mentioned being an All-American guard. His brother was too, Larry, a couple of years before him. The reason I know that is that earlier in the week when we ate at Mike Anderson's restaurant here in town, the former All-American defensive back for LSU, they had that picture of his All-American team, and on it, sure enough, was Jerry's brother, Larry.
Oh, Mike Anderson. Okay. Neely can't get out of the backfield. Good penetration for Mississippi State. Wonder how late they're open tonight. And now it's going to be a 4th down situation.
Here's the field goal we were talking about. Why not? Good opportunity for either guy, Boyd Oshervan, and I don't think you could misinterpret this in terms of running it up. I think that, you know, Jackie Sherrill would certainly understand, but it appears that they're going to give the young quarterback a chance to go for it.
And I would be shocked because of our conversation with Jerry DiNardo if he just handed it off and ran it once again on 4th at about 9.
Oh yeah, he's not one of those guys who wants to run it up, but he wants to give these young people some opportunity.
Falk's back in there, believe it or not, which is a surprise. Or make it Mealy. It is Mealy. Okay, Mealy looked like 3, but it was 7.
I think this is a good example of what you just talked about, Joel, and that is a guy like Mealy who's hung in there, practiced hard, done what he's been asked to do, not in the limelight. Certainly he could be a starting tailback for a number of other teams in the SEC. But he wants to give him his carries, give him an opportunity to excel because, you know, he's been in the long shadow of that young man right there, Kevin Falk. So kudos to Coach DiNardo giving Mealy an opportunity to shine.
And it will be his big chance next year, of course. It will be his senior season for Rondell Mealy. As Falk departs, but then so does Herb Tyler, unfortunately for Tiger fans.
Well, I think Mealy thought that this was going to be his year. I think he thought that Falk was going to leave.
Chris Rainey on the carry.
I'm sorry, he surprised a lot of people by staying behind because at the time it was Mealy and Cecil Collins who has since left the team. But Rondell Mealy, as we say, when he's given the opportunity, don't forget, against Kentucky last year in the 97 season, also with a big game, 130 yards. So he's certainly capable when Falk goes down or he's a little bit tired.
Inside of 6 minutes left. Mealy has 77 yards tonight on 19 carries. Carrying it in the wrong hand. It was the first carry for Pig Prather, the true freshman, Faulkner, Mississippi. Well, the special teams, the only downside right now for LSU's Jerry DiNardo. They had one block last week. You can see what they've done tonight in extra points. They've had a couple blocked as well. And finally brought in Chauvin to kick the last one.
Well, 60% isn't cutting it for extra points, especially with the games that they have coming up, which more than likely portend to be close games. Your kicking game has to be in order.
Matkin will run the option. Vincenzo Miller this time breaking tackles. He's got it near the 40 for a first down. And looking back on some of the botched extra points and missed kicks tonight, you have it on the very first touchdown. High snap and brought down awkwardly by the holder through. And the second one, when it was already decided, it was 41-0 at that point for the LSU Tigers. But Boyd also missed a couple of field goals. He had one block last week on the deuce. Also missed one last week. He's 1 of 3 on the year from field goals.
I'm thinking that very rarely do you have a situation where you have 3 blocked placements in 2 weeks. I mean, that's very strange.
Miller weaving it up to the 45 for about 6. Inside of 4.5 minutes left.
Now, how much confidence do you think, Joel, this gives LSU? I mean, sometimes when you get a blowout like this, it can work 1 or 2 ways. You either take it for granted or you say, hey, you know what, we really are this good. So, you know what, That man, DiNardo, I'm always interested in his psychological approach with the team because he discussed that openly with us in terms of what it is he does from week to week based on the wins and losses and how it happens.
Second and about 5. Breaking tackles out of the backfield once again. It's Vincenzo Miller. He won't quit on the play. Well, earlier we had the opportunity to talk to Jackie Sherrill, and he told us despite the 3 straight losses, he knew how tough it was going to be against LSU.
The thing that they have been, and they had trouble, and if they probably would have had a better field goal and extra point team, they probably very easily could be 6-0. And we would be looking at it with them being, you know, the front runner of the league.
Lost by a point to Georgia right here, 28-27.
A couple of missed kicks in the blocks and the return of 2 points, crucial in a 3-point loss to Kentucky. Maybe the Florida game, you couldn't necessarily say that, but still they have a much different record.
Vincenzo Miller eaten up early by LSU's Nathan Turner, as well as Thomas Dunson, the inside linebacker. $41-0. It was 21-0 at the break. Missed extra point in the first half and missed extra points in the second half. They did go for 2 on their second score to get it back to 14-0.
So I suppose this answers the question that you had posed earlier regarding about whether or not Mississippi State was for real based on the softness of the record. I just don't think.
Rod Gibson gets his first carry, and I believe he's got the first down. You were about to say?
Well, I was about to say that one of the things that's difficult in the scheduling process is that even though it's great for their confidence defeating an East Tennessee State team, that certainly can't be good preparation for playing a team of the magnitude of LSU at their place. So Mississippi State has benefited thus far with their record. You know, they've done well. But I think really, Joel, that's going to hurt them now down the stretch as they play some quality opponents, although a game like this certainly has to be an eye-opener for them starting practice next week.
Serious room for improvement on the offensive side. Matkin trying to break the shutout. And it was almost there for the wide receiver, Kelvin Love. The first time they've gone in his direction, the former quarterback. He was recruited, in fact, to Mississippi State as a quarterback prospect from a community college in Mississippi.
Catchable ball. They really like him. A lot of athletic ability.
Storyline brought to you by BMW. Record-setting night for Kevin Falk, looking at times like Marshall Falk. Now LSU's all-time leading rusher, surpassing the totals of Dalton Hilliard. And another efficient night for Herb Tyler, taking part in 4 scores, throwing for 3, running for another. It's 4 touchdowns he's run for over the last 2 games, 22 in his career, more than any other quarterback in LSU history.
Good point, and one of the things we need to point out is I'm sure people ask ad nauseum, this Falk is not related to the Marshall Falk.
Although Marshall is from Louisiana,
right.
From New Orleans.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Going for Kevin Prentice. That young man played Pop Warner this morning. Mark, our cameraman, and his son Mitchell did not pick up a victory. He lives for a tight end that used to wear number 46, though. He does.
Yeah. That makes for a good story. Thank you, Mark. That's very kind. Kind of you to remember Warren Bankston, who was from the Louisiana area.
He's tough. He's still tough. Even with $1.51 left.
Joel, you the man. It's your world. I'm just trying to get a part.
So Mitchell admiring Todd Christensen. Ready for next season after losing to the playoffs. And Matkin, yes, we needed it. Shot and a goal. Timeout has been called by Mississippi State. Looking at 3rd and long with 1 minute and 51 seconds remaining.
I mean, the way I see it, you know, assistant manager...
If you like Pringles, you'll love new fat-free Pringles. Because they're made with Olean, they're half the calories, 0 fat, and so much like original Pringles. You'll think they taste just as good.
These are fat-free?
You guys are in here again? I can't believe this! You're always in here nursing your injuries. I have never seen such a group of cream puffs in my life. This is football! I need guys that can play!
Man, I thought he'd never leave.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Hot dog, anyone?
The look on her face, you wouldn't know those Tigers were up by 41. It has been a long second half, though, especially if you're a Bulldog fan. Back in Baton Rouge, all LSU to snap their 3-game losing streak, the first ever in the 4th season of Jerry DiNardo's reign. And they have had a real solid run with Jerry DiNardo, former SEC Coach of the Year back in '91, but when he was guiding the Commodores of Vanderbilt.
And that's saying something, because that's obviously a tough place to recruit and win. So for him to be coach there, that's huge.
LSU has called a timeout now to get the right personnel on defensively on 3rd and 10. Time now for our national car rental. Players of the game from Mississippi State. James Johnson, close to the century mark, came in leading the SEC with 126 yards a game on the ground. Kevin Falk, historic occasion for Falk, 208 all-purpose yards, scored 3 times. And looking back, Todd, he will never forget the night he broke Dalton Hilliard's mark.
Big night for him. It's exciting stuff. Once again, you know, I feel a little bit frustrated for him in terms of the fact that maybe his greatness is not appreciated. Because he's been so good all 4 years, everybody just expects him to be good. And so when the records are broken, they just say, well, that's the way it's supposed to be. Well, no, it isn't. I think you have to give this young man his due. And yes, coming into this season, he was an All-American Heisman candidate, sure. But he's still putting up the numbers and still playing some pretty good football. And, Joel, I'd be interested, what do you think? You like his chance of playing on Sunday?
Yes, I do, because he can catch the football as well. I don't think they exploited that enough, though, here at LSU. His career best in receiving is Matkin. Goes deep down the middle, and it's going to be picked off, I believe. No, drop on the way down. Back there defensively, who got his hands on the ball. Mark Roman, the safety. And we remind you, by the way, National Car Rental is going to donate, and is proud to donate, $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund on behalf of James Johnson and Kevin Falk. Not a real test in the secondary tonight, although Roman's played a solid ball game. We've seen him around the ball on a few occasions.
But you know what? This is one of the things that skews the stats. You know, coming into this game, they're giving up over 280 yards passing. You know, I'm not even sure the kid has 100 tonight.
No,
There's 100 right on the nose.
Yes.
So again, here's a situation to where they'll go from 97th all the way down, maybe, you know, into the 50s or 60s, and they'll feel much better about themselves.
Matkin out of his shotgun. That's complete to Kelvin Prentice. And Prentice takes it down inside the 25 to the 24 for a first down with 91 seconds left. Well, everybody has that pride on the Mississippi State sideline. There's no doubt about that, and they want to avoid a shutout.
They do, and they're pressing the issue. But I did notice, Joel, that there are an awful lot of second-string guys in there for LSU on the defensive side. They want to give them the opportunity to get in the game and do some things that later on, who knows, in the next couple of games, if somebody gets hurt. Tonight, their secondary was problematic because they had some people that were hurt, a death in the family for one. And so, you know, this gives them a chance to get in some game experience, because no matter how hard you try and practice, Joe, you cannot simulate a game. You can't simulate that game speed.
Miller in the backfield. Matkin with time throws it away. Closest one was Prentice. It'll be 2nd and 10, so we looked at the standings at the very top of the telecast. Now in the SEC West, Arkansas with a lead at 3-0. Mississippi State will be at 3-1. Mississippi even to the 500 mark, and LSU will raise their record to 2-3 in conference play. 4-3 overall.
And Arkansas was idle, I believe.
They met up. That was a tough matchup for them.
They played
idle.
University of IDLE.
And it wasn't Billy.
Or Eric.
You got it. 124 left. Markoff, late flag. And illegal man past the line of scrimmage. One of those hosses got down early. Markoff for 5. And it's going to be 1st and 15 all over again. The blitz up the middle. Prentice with the completion. And will they get there? Losing the football. Well, that's the ball came right back to Prentice, I believe. The opportunity was there. But the Tigers Fred Booker to come up with the football after it popped free, but I think he put it right back to Prentice.
Joel, the one regular player on the field that it would appear besides Booker is Mark Roman. Now they're in a man coverage, and as Prentice breaks the tackle, he cuts back to the middle of the field. Now take a look at Roman as he's stumbling, comes in and separates from the ball. Nice hit right there where the helmet hit the ball, but as you pointed out, a very fortuitous bounce came back to Prentice, and Mississippi State retains possession.
Mississippi State out of timeouts. As the clock moves. Out of the gun, Matkin has it batted up into the air and out of bounds. Getting up there, Kendrick Allen, the defensive end. True freshman from Bogalusa, Georgia, or Bogalusa, Louisiana, rather, and coming up next on the Deuce. College football tonight with Mike Adamle. So college football tonight up next on ESPN2. 48 seconds remaining. 48 seconds separating LSU from a shutout of Mississippi State. It'll be the 7th straight win over this squad. And their 9th in their last 11 meetings. On the slant, Prentice. He should get there. Touchdown, Mississippi State. It comes with 41 seconds left.
Well, Prentice is the one guy in the passing game for Mississippi State that has been effective. Lou Tepper, of course, wanting the shutout, but, you know, they came with some reserves, gave him a chance to play, and I think in the long run that makes sense. You know, give them a chance to do some things. Madkins finally gets his touchdown pass. You know what? That is really eerie. That whole Chris Rock thing. I'm telling you. You don't think so?
Very much so. Brian Hazelwood in for the point after try.
I mean, a little facial hair, and he's in Lethal Weapon 5.
It's pulled, and it's missed. So keeping in with the theme of the evening, where nobody can get their placements correctly.
Something to be said for Death Valley. Whatever that voodoo is that's over this field in terms of the kicking game. I mean, you would have thought at this point it would be inconsequential, but Hazelwood's not very happy.
So it stays a 35-point deficit for Mississippi State. The new issue of ESPN Magazine, Chris Rock, you're all over it. The new issue of ESPN Magazine is now in the newsstands, featuring Mike Tyson. College football fans will love it as well. They can check out UCLA quarterback Dave McNown. Spotlight on Indiana's Antoine Randall L. Lots more info on the college game. ESPN Magazine on the newsstands. I was looking at my copy today, and it's strong. What a good column on Cade McNown, who got a big win at Cal today.
Now, see, I know you're a Southern Cal guy, but you were really adamant to the fact that you thought this guy should still be getting some serious Heisman Trophy votes.
I think he could play at the next level. I don't think there's any doubt about
Oh,
that.
no, I'm not saying that. You're talking about the Heisman Trophy, though. If they run the table and they end up number 2 and number 1.
No, I was talking about the final 4 games of the season. They've got Washington, USC, Miami, and then a bowl game. So if he may, let's face it, Charles Woodson did it last year in the Final 4.
Okay.
Come on.
Right, good
Is
point.
there any doubt about that?
You got a point. All right, you got a point. I still think that Williams and Couch are the 2 guys, but okay.
History could repeat itself. The late rush.
Winning isn't everything. It's the Heisman ballot, I think.
Now Blandon. The pop. Marty Aronoff liked it late. It was like talk radio. Big Prather getting the onside kick for Mississippi State.
Well, this is just how they draw it up, and the kicker was able to get that generous hop that everybody talks about. 1. Now it's supposed to jump up, and it does. Right into the air, downfield, bat on, able to come up with it, relatively unencumbered. You can see that, you know what, take a look at Falk right there. He's saying to himself, you know what, yeah, I'm going to jump up there and expose my ribs here when the score's 41-6. I don't think so.
Yeah, and it was the defensive back, Dasila Baden, the corner for Jackie Sherrill.
That was very good. I was afraid to say the first name. I got to give you credit for courage there, Holmes.
Phonetics. Live on phonetics. Madkin on the quick wideout screen to Cooper. Runs into the pursuit. They can't stop the clock. They stopped him at the midfield stripe. And maybe one more snap for Mississippi State. So LSU was something to build on. Back to the drawing board for Mississippi State. And maybe they'll think about a different approach to scheduling.
especially when it comes to non-conference opponents.
Yeah, you know it's so far in advance, Joel. Sometimes you can't control that.
You're right. They do make 5 to 10 years down the road the home and away series. So that'll be the final play. Our final score, and it was never in doubt in the second half after LSU scored in their opening possession. They led it to break 21-0. Big win, though, for Jerry DiNardo.
And I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, Joel, it's going to be a situation where he might actually sleep 5 hours tonight.
Maybe a little bit more than 4.5. Well, for Todd Christensen, Dean Blevins, I'm Joel Myers. Thanks for joining us. Our final score once again in Baton Rouge, LSU dominating Mississippi State from start to finish, winning 41-6. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Now stay tuned with Mike Adamle. We'll head back to the studio. Coming up next, college football tonight on the Deuce. So long, everybody.